ETV's coverage of high school football is sponsored by Wendy's and the South Carolina High School League.
It's the Southland Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV. It's the second game of the day here at Williams-Brice Stadium. It's the 4A Division I Championship, often called the Big 16 title game, as the Gamecocks of Sumter High School take on the Gaffney Indians. And hello again, everybody. I'm Don Williams, along with the head coach of Rock Hill High School, Jim Ringer. And Jim, I think that when you talk about Big 16 teams, you talk about Spartanburg, you talk about Somerville, but quickly, Gaffney and Sumter. If you knew this was the game we were going to see all year long, you'd have been looking forward to this one since August.
Well, there are a lot of good football teams in Division I, but this game in particular, I think, is on paper the biggest toss-up of any of the games that we have the whole weekend.
And both teams have been playing outstanding football all year long throughout the playoffs. As you look at some of the statistics, one of the things about Sumter High School, you talk about Richardson, we'll talk about him later, but they do everything well.
Yeah, they're very balanced, and Will's the first name that comes to mind, but like I said, they've got a running back that's got over 1,600 yards rushing too, and so you can't just defend the passing game, and it's going to be true for Gaffney too.
William Richardson, we mentioned, of course, his brother, an outstanding quarterback at Sumter High School a decade ago that led them to a national championship. The Gaffney Indians, they too are not a one-dimensional team.
No, very balanced. The running back is a big kid, 210 pounds, and the little giant kid, and then Antonio Gaffney, the quarterback, does a great job with the passing game. And, of course, Sidney Rice is out there and is a big target for them.
And, of course, we were talking about Richardson a moment ago. He's been a starter for Sumter High School since he was in the 9th grade, and, of course, tremendous bloodlines.
Well, he does, and it's kind of a personal thing, too, with that, because Wally, his brother, is the guy that beat us at Rock Hill High School in 1990 for the state championship.
It was the last time that Sumter won a state championship when Wally was the quarterback 13 years ago. You know, William would like to do the same thing. Meantime, over at Gaffney High School, it's not like they don't have some talent as well.
Oh, no, and this group has been coming along. Antonio Gaffney, like I said, is the quarterback, made some big plays against us in the first game of the season. And they've just played extremely well and gotten better. They've played in some close games. I think they've got 7 of the games that were decided by a total of 23 points, so they're used to the pressure situations.
As you look at these two teams, they do everything so well. They play good defense. They have great kicking games. What would you boil it down to in deciding what's going to win this game?
Well, what wins football games is the same no matter what the game is. I mean, you got to block and you got to tackle and you got to execute. But the biggest thing is whichever coach can get his team to focus on what's going on the field and not what's going on around this event, then they've got the best chance of winning the football game.
So most people expect this one to go down into the fourth quarter. Perhaps depth will be something that will decide the game. Meantime, down on the field, Joe Cashin, and he's going to have an outstanding day as the stands are filling up and the weather is absolutely gorgeous. Joe?
As Kevin McCrary said in the previous game that it was a couple of ghost towns in Batesburg, Leesville, and Central, I think the entire county of Cherokee is here today behind me. The Gaffney fans are really out in force for their first state championship game since 1998. I think a couple of things to look for today. This Gaffney defense has forced 34 turnovers this year. Can Sumter hold on to the football? Conversely, can Gaffney move the football against the Sumter secondary, which is really banged up? They lost one of their key players last week to a suspension in the Fort Dorchester game. Can Gaffney, with their great wide receiver Sidney Rice, can they take advantage of this Sumter defense? Back to you.
All right, Joe, thanks very much. You see the coin being flipped right now. Gamecocks are the visiting team. They are the team that you see down there in the all-white, while Gaffney will be the home team in the black and the gold. The Indians have won the toss. They have deferred their option to the second half. So the Gamecocks will have the option for the first half, and chances are that Sumter will have the football. As you look at the numbers, Coach Ringer, from all year long, lots of points put on the board, as you would expect from these two teams. Do you think that'll be the case in this particular game?
Well, I don't think it's going to be a shutout on one side or the other, because they are so prolific, and both are blessed with athletes that can give them a balanced offense. Some high schools tend to be one-dimensional because their kids just can't do one thing. But they've got quarterbacks and they've got running backs, and their offensive lines have both improved as the year went on. So it should be an offensive show.
You opened up against these guys way back in August.
Right.
Talking about Gaffney.
Right, we did, and it's tough to play at the reservation, but we've had a lot of experience with it because we were a Region 2 team, for so many years and playing Gaffney. We scrimmaged Sumter, too, early in the year, and so we've seen both teams up close and personal, and that's why I say this is a big toss-up right now.
Well, you see the Gamecocks are gathering in the end zone, 2 hour left. That would be the north end zone. The wind has been coming out of the north most of the day at between 10 to 15 miles an hour. Don't know if it has really affected much as far as the passing game is concerned. Maybe a little bit more in the kicking game. Temperatures right around 50 degrees. And the Gamecocks, the visiting team across the way, actually get to enjoy the sun field. But now here come the Gaffney Indians, and there are the Gamecocks as they take the field. And we have an outstanding crowd, probably right now around 15 to 20,000 on hand, and they will continue to arrive over the next 30 to 45 minutes. Phil Strickland, in his first year as the head coach of the Indians, has guided his team to a record of 13-1, and really an outstanding debut effort.
Well, he's an excellent football coach, and it's already been noted that his former team, Batesburg-Leesville, played in the state championship today too, and I think he carried them to state championship game twice while he was there. Came in and took a group of kids that we knew from playing them over the years. They had a talented group that had started when they were sophomores, and they're mostly seniors now, and he's done a great job of molding them and getting them to where they are today.
There you see Coach Strickland as he will be prowling the home sidelines here at Williams-Brice Stadium. And his counterpart across the way is Paul Sorrells. Paul is in his sixth season as the head coach of the Sumter Gamecocks, and it's taken him a couple of years to get the Gamecocks into the state championship game, the first time that they've been here since 1995 and looking for their first title in 13 years.
Of course, Paul was at Sumter as an assistant for a long number of years. As a matter of fact, I think he's been at Sumter around 21 years, so he's very familiar with that situation.
So it will be the Gamecocks who will get the football to start the game. Kicking teams for both teams are outstanding. Defenses have done their job when they've had to. They have been good fourth quarter teams. Really, on paper, there appears to be very little to choose from between the two teams, and I think that is why everybody is expecting this to be one of the outstanding games, if not the outstanding game of the 5 that will be played here at Williams-Brice Stadium. We have 2 in the books already. 2 championships have been decided. This is the third one. 2 more games later on today as the ball is about to go in the air. It will be taken at about the 15-yard line on the far side, out to the 25 and out to about the 32-yard line. That is where Sumter will take over, 1st and 10, as they will be traveling from our left to our right. Richardson, the quarterback, wearing number 9 in his senior season, his last year. You see there he's thrown for nearly 2,500 yards, 28 touchdowns, only 6 interceptions on the season. Just an outstanding career at Sumter High School. So the Gamecocks will call it. They'll operate out of the shotgun. They have 1 man in the backfield. They have 4 wide. Richardson back, wanting to throw, looking to the left side, down the sideline, and it is caught, but it's out of bounds, down at about the 35-yard line. Had his receiver out there. The intended receiver was Tyrell Davis, but he was a little bit out of bounds. Let's take a look at the starting lineups for the Gamecocks. We mentioned an outstanding offensive line for Sumter High School, led by James Thompson.
Well, James is a 4-year starter, which is very unusual, especially at a 4A school for a 4-year starter in the offensive line.
Reinhardt has been one of the key receivers on 2nd down and 10 for the Gamecocks. They'll keep it on the ground, and there is nothing there. Toomer was the ball carrier for Sumter, stopped in there immediately by the Gaffney defensive line. So at the 30-yard line, it will be 3rd down and 10, and there are the Gaffney defensive front, as well as the linebackers and the secondary. So 3rd down and 10 as Sumter comes up without a huddle. Richardson calling his plays as he brings a man in motion on 3rd down and 10. Has time to throw. Throws, got a man wide open out at the 43-yard line. It was David Joes, and Joes with the catch at the 45. He'll move the sticks, and Sumter will have a 1st down, a big 3rd and 10 conversion.
Well, very interesting that Joes catch the first pass, because Coach Sauls was telling me the other day that David's father played for John McKissick at Somerville.
So Gamecocks will have it. 1st and 10. They're on their own 46-yard line. Rose to carry. Got some blocking. Gets across midfield and into Gaffney territory. Picks up about 5 on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 5. We mentioned the fact that when you think of Richardson and the Gamecocks, you expect them to throw maybe 30 or 40 times a game. Not necessarily. They still can run the football, and they showed it there on 1st down. Getting outside, picking up about 5. It'll be 2nd and 5. Richardson, easy to spot down there. He's got the yellow long sleeves on a cool and a windy day. 2-step drop, throws outside, threw too quickly. He had his man out there, Toomer, but Toomer had not turned and looked for the football, so it's incomplete. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
Mario Toomer's second cousin is Amani Toomer that plays with the New York Giants, so he's got some good blood in him.
Pretty good bloodlines right there. This Gamecock football team probably has a number of players that will be playing Division I football next year. 3rd down 5. They're going to keep it on the ground, try to run for it. Close to the sticks is Kenneth Rose as he crosses the 45-yard line down to the 44. Very close to 1st down yardage. From the initial spot, it is going to be very close, and they eyeball it and call it a 1st down. In high school football, you do a lot more of just looking at the sidelines. I've noticed over the years, Coach, as opposed to bringing the sticks out. Sometimes I say, how in the world could he see that?
Well, we wonder, we wonder the same thing sometimes because we're yelling at them to measure it.
Actually, it's interesting. Where the football actually rests now appears to be back from where they spotted it. Richardson looks right, now looks left, may want to run. Goes straight forward and picks up about 4 on the play. Not the most mobile of quarterbacks, although he's improved in that. That was one of the knocks on his brother, Wally, when he played at Penn State and later in the National Football League, but showed good poise there as a 4-year starter should. 2nd down and 6.
Will was more mobile when he was younger, but he hurt that knee and he hadn't been as mobile lately.
So Richardson out of the shotgun, back, looking right. Got a man wide open down the field, but he overshoots him. The intended receiver was Joes, whom he hit earlier. This one, though, might have sailed on William just a little bit, as he had him wide open at the 10-yard line, but couldn't hit him. There is a following wind with that football as they move from north to south here at Williams-Brice Stadium, so it's going to bring up 3rd down and 5. You'll get another look. He stepped up in the pocket and might have just gotten a little juiced when he saw how wide open Joe's was. 2 men in the backfield, going to keep it on the ground, let Rose try to get it, gets outside, breaks a tackle. He's down to the 30-yard line. 1st down, Gamecocks, as they knock him out of bounds at the 29-yard line.
Kenny's just a first-year starter, and he only weighs 155 pounds, but I tell you what, he plays a lot bigger than he is.
So Gamecocks are also doing a good job with their offensive play calling, I think, Coach Ringer, in that they're keeping Gaffney a little bit off balance, I think.
Well, right now they're throwing on running downs and running on throwing downs.
Exactly. So it's 1st and 10. Sumter right at the spot at the 30-yard line. Richardson fakes to Rose, rolls right, throws out into the flat. It is caught out there by Reinhardt. Kind of a dangerous throw. He had man coverage out in the flat and almost able to come up with the interception for Gaffney.
Well, that was great coverage by the corner out there, and he's going to have his hands full with CJ because he's a heck of a receiver.
James Epps was the man who had man coverage on him, almost stepped up and made the big play, and meantime held him to about a 5-yard gain. So it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Gamecocks at the 25-yard line as they advance toward the goal on our right. Keep the ball on the ground, breaks a tackle, inside the 20, down to the 15, to the 10, to the 5-yard line. It's Toomer. Mario Toomer seemed to be stopped at the line of scrimmage, broke a tackle, got past the linebackers, and they had to haul him down from behind inside the 5. It will be 1st and goal for the Gamecocks.
He's kind of the guy that's forgotten. You know, those fullbacks sometimes that do all that blocking, you forget when they were getting the football, and when they do, it surprises the defense.
So Sumter, which has had possession of the football since the game began. Pitch sweep to the right side and down at about the 3-yard line. We'll check the number with the white. Yeah, it was Kenneth Rose. We are high atop Williams-Brice Stadium. And the white uniforms, you have to really struggle to see some of the numbers for the Gamecocks, but that was Rose. As he gets down to the 3, it'll be 2nd down and goal. Sumter got the kickoff. They've had the football since the game began. We've played 3.5 minutes. They're knocking on the door at the 3-yard line. Rose will get another crack. Down to the 1. Did he get in? No signal yet. His helmet got across, but the football may not have. And they say it's going to be 3rd down and inches inside the 1-yard line for Sumter High School. On this drive, the Gamecocks have run 7 times for 46 yards. They've added 22 through the air on 5 pass plays. This will be the 13th play of the drive. 3rd down inches. Richardson wants to keep. Still no signal. Looked like he had penetration. There it is. 6 points on the board for the Gamecocks. Richardson on the sneak for the touchdown.
I tell you, Gaffney's defense, has been playing well the last couple of weeks. They're going to be tested again today, though, just simply because of the balance.
So, Sumter High School, a 13-play, 70-yard drive, took 4 minutes and 5 seconds, and now they'll try to tack on the extra point. Shadows beginning to lengthen just a little bit across the field here at Williams-Brice. Snap is back, kick is up, and it is good. So, there's timeout on the field with the score Sumter 7, Gaffney nothing. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
Did you know that lounging on the couch can be good for business? If CEOs watched football, they'd see that coaches who settle for the field goal often miss scoring touchdowns. And like in football, playing it safe in business may save face Monday morning, but seldom brings the big win. Well, what is next for CEOs? I'm David Brancaccio, and for that, well, you'll have to tune in to Marketplace.
About to kick off, and the Indians will gather this one in at about the 5 or 6 yard line. Sidney Rice brings it up, breaks a tackle 20, 25, 30, and he's out to about the 32 yard line. And that's where Gaffney will take over 1st and 10 on their own 32 to see if they can answer the Gamecocks' lengthy touchdown drive, which culminated on the what it was really about a 3-inch touchdown run by Will Richardson.
Yeah, they've got good push with the offensive line.
So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Indians at the 32 yard line, trailing 7-0. We've played just a shade over 4 minutes. Quarterback Antonio Gaffney, he too a senior. We haven't talked about him as much as we have Will Richardson, but certainly the year that he's had, he deserves all the accolades. Pitches at the last moment on the Little John out on the corner, and he'll get out to about the 40, about 8 yards. Let's take a look at the starters for the Indians, an outstanding offensive line. You'll hear the name Little John quite a bit today. Running back, and there on the offensive line, Derek Little John. The receiver, Sidney Rice, we talked about him as he returned the kickoff a moment ago. And now Little John just carried the football. Gaffney is the quarterback. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 for Gaffney. They're on their own 39 yard line. Pitch to the left side. Little John will carry across the 40, 41. Just a couple. Sumter closed quickly. It'll be 3rd down and 1.
Key down right here. They really need to pick up 1st down after Sumter held the ball on them for so long.
There you see the Sumter defensive front. This is a veteran football team that Paul Sorrells has. In fact, talking with some of the Sumter people before the ball game, I said, who do you lose? And they said, everybody. This is their year, and so far they've gone undefeated. And they're trying to make it 15-0. An interesting tidbit. I'll tell you about that in just a moment. 3rd down, less than a yard to go for Gaffney. And as Coach Ringer just said, it's very key that they do more than a 3 and out. Back to throw, and it is incomplete. A little bit of a risky play. Don't know if that was a broken play on 3rd and short like that. Might be a bit surprised by that call, unless they've decided this is 4-down territory.
Well, I don't think they'll be going for it here. Like I said, that's a surprise play, but if it had worked, then it would have caught everybody by surprise.
So they will kick it away. Nick Melton will come in. He is a backup quarterback. So I guess when he's in there to punt, that's something that you've always got to be keeping at least in the back of your mind. C.J. Reinhardt is back to return the punt for Sumter. So it's a 3 and out for Gaffney, even though they picked up 7 on the 1st down. Melton awaits the snap, a little bit low, but no problem. Gets it away. Short kick. Reinhardt will get it at the 35, returns to the 40, breaks a tackle, but he's not going to go much further, but out to about the 41-yard line. A 6-yard return after a punt of only 25 yards. So great field position for the Gamecocks, who drew first blood. Sumter High looking to have an undefeated state championship season for the first time since 1969.
Well, I remember when they beat us. I don't know whether they lost had lost the game that year in 1990, but evidently they did. But like I say, I know there's a lot of pressure on Will today to match what his brother did. He's probably been facing that all of his life, with people saying those things about you got to do like Wally did.
One step drop, he throws inside. It is complete. The middle screen, not much yardage though, as Reinhardt tried to work his way back across the field looking for a seam, couldn't find one. He's dropped after about a 1-yard pickup. It'll be 2nd down and 9. Yeah, apparently in 1990 they did lose at least one ball game, because they said the last time they went all the way through a season without losing was '69, and they beat Gaffney that year to win the state championship. So it's 2nd down and 9. They've been in the state championship 3 times since the 90 championship. Richardson's going to keep this one, pick up only a couple. They won in 90, as you mentioned, over your club, then lost in 91 to Spartanburg when they had the outstanding running back, who's now with the Carolina Panthers, is Stephen Davis. Then they lost in 92 and 95. So looking to break a 3-game state championship losing streak is Sumter High School.
Well, Stephen Davis played at Spartanburg, so he wouldn't play at Sumter.
No, that was when they beat Sumter in 91.
Okay,
right.
Yeah.
So their officials have stepped in and stopped play for a moment. Paul Sorrells talked about this varied offense that we've seen from Sumter so far.
Well, our offensive game plan, we basically do what we've been doing all year long. We try to be very balanced. We want to run, we want to throw, and we just sort of look at each game, figure out how they're going to line up to our formations, and we basically just going to try to attack them, the best way we can based on what we do. And so our offensive staff believes they believe highly in just scouting other team, seeing how they're going to line up, and then we believe totally in just running our offense. And so it doesn't create a whole lot of change from week to week.
Well, you saw the interception, probably not what you wanted to have happen when you're talking about your offense. Chris Blanding was the intended receiver and appeared to stumble on this field, which has been criticized throughout the season, and may have led to the interception, and Gaffney gets a big break. They'll have it 1st and 10 at their own 41-yard line. Gaffney rolling right, wanting to throw, has a man out there, diving catch, is it made? It is. At the Sumter 45-yard line, a 15-yard pass play will give Gaffney its first down of the football game.
Well, Gaffney's got a big play offense, and they've done that all year long. I think 20 of their touchdowns are 25 yards or longer, and 11 of their touchdowns are 41 yards or longer. So they'll be trying to make the big play all afternoon. They've got the people to do it.
Saw the Sumter coaches on that over there signaling an incompleted pass, but their hearts weren't in it. It was complete. Gain of 15 for Gaffney. They're at the Sumter 45. Trailing is 7-0. Handoff goes straight ahead. Pickup of about 4 by Littlejohn. A.J. Littlejohn, he's a senior. We'll get it down to, we'll wait for the spot. About the 41-yard line. Nope, they can say the 42. Gain of 3, it'll be 2nd down 7. 4:14 remaining. We're in the first quarter. Gamecocks lead at 7-0. They scored on their first possession of the ball game.
AJ's their biggest tailback that they've had there at Gaffney since Dominic Stevenson played there. And of course, Dominic went on to be a linebacker at the University of Tennessee.
So it'll be 2nd down and 7. Gaffney operating out of the shotgun, which you see just about everybody doing nowadays. He's got 1 back. He's got 3 wides. Rolling right, throwing with fade down the right side. Some stumbling over there. Don't see any flags, just some incidental contact. Sidney Rice was the intended receiver who fell down. But you can hear the wrath of the Gaffney fans. They thought something should have been thrown there, but nothing was. It'll be 3rd down and 7 for Gaffney at the Sumter 42. It's a lot more evident when you're here in person than it is on television to see the sandy nature of the field, which has caused some footing problems.
Don, I walked down there last night before the first game, and it wasn't good last night, so it's going to continue to deteriorate.
And this is the 3rd game. They did roll the field between games, so it's 3rd down and 7. Gaffney looking to convert. They're going to run a little bit of a draw. Got plenty of running room. Down to the 30-25. May go all the way to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Gaffney. 42-yard run by A.J. Littlejohn on the sprint draw, and he had to break 1 tackle about 5 yards downfield, and then he was gone. Gaffney has answered back.
A lot of talent with that kid right there, and thank goodness for Gaffney. He stayed relatively healthy this year. Last year he suffered with some injuries. This year he stayed relatively healthy, and I think that's been one key for them.
So Nick Melton will be the holder as Gaffney will try to add the extra point. Justin Harris, left-footed kicker, will await the snap. Melton gets it down. Kick is up, and it is good. So after the interception gave Gaffney the football, they marched it in, going the final 42 on a run by A.J. Littlejohn. And with 3:33 remaining in the first half, we're tied at 7. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV. So the Gamecocks receive the kickoff and return it to the 26-yard line, where it will be 1st and 10 in a 7-7 ball game, 3:28 remaining in the first half. Richardson brings them out. Hands off. They had I in the backfield, maybe for the first time today. Pick up about 3. It'll be 2nd down and 7 as they test the interior of the Gaffney defense. And you see there, Littlejohn, another one for Gaffney, making the tackle.
That Littlejohn name is all around Gaffney. Has been ever since. I'm telling you. 2nd
down 7 for the Gamecocks. As they're out at the 24-yard line, Richardson pitch sweep. Kenneth Rose has it, and he will go nowhere. Stopped right at the line of scrimmage. So Gaffney's defense now appears to have gotten a little life out of the touchdown that their offense gave them just a moment ago.
Well, I tell you what, they're going to be tested the whole day, though. They might have stopped them on that play, but you never know what's going to happen on this next one because Will's got the big play capability.
Probably lost about a yard, so it's 3rd down and 8 for the Gamecocks. Richardson back, rolling left. Blindside pressure.
Yeah, that's a big
Ball
play
is
right
loose.
there.
Could be picked up. It is, and he'll be down at the 13-yard line. You can see the blindside pressure coming. Richardson really never had a chance.
No, he never saw that coming. Excellent defensive call there to make that blitz. Here he come with the outside linebacker, and he caught him square and scooped up by one of the Gaffney players there. He just couldn't keep his footing.
So that was Littlejohn with the pressure and the hit. Brandon Robinson with the recovery for the Indians, and Gaffney will take over at the Sumter 13-yard line. 2nd consecutive turnover by Sumter in a 7-7 game. Gaffney with the opportunity to take the lead. 2:27 remaining in the first quarter. So far, this game has been everything anybody could have expected. Antonio Gaffney gives it to his fullback, and that's Trevon Green. First time that he's carried the football. The Sumter defense was there waiting on him and ready to knock him down. Tackle made by Brandon Brown, the senior linebacker.
Great job by the Sumter defense on these quick changes like that, sudden turnovers and this type of thing. You always worry about what state of mind your defense is in when they go on the field. But they made a big play on 1st down, and now Gaffney's going to have to do something to put themselves in a better position to pick up 1st down.
Loss of a yard on the play makes it 2nd down and 11 as the Indians bring it out. They'll have the man that you want to keep an eye on, Sidney Rice, split to the top of the field. Gaffney, the quarterback, is now up under center as he's got I in the backfield. Raises up. Had man coverage out there in the corner. Changed the play to him. Hits him, Myron Wisdom. But the Gamecock defender on the play, Stephen Graves, was right there and hit him as soon as he caught the football for about a 4-yard gain. Down at the 10. Yeah, they'll roll it closer to the 8. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
The weak side corner over there has been in single coverage. They're doubling up on Sydney up there at the top. So great job by Gaffney and I'm talking about the quarterback, Gaffney, to spot that and check the play off.
So it'll be 3rd down and 5 for the Indians. Sumter would like to hold them to a field goal if possible. Gaffney wants to get it into the end zone. Gaffney back, rolling right. Now going to try that middle screen again. Has his man at the 10, slips the tackle, knocked out of bounds at the 5. Will not have enough for a first down as Isaac Green made the hit on the play. Knocking him out of bounds, Little John.
Great call. Great call in this situation, Don. Caught him in the blitz, but Sumter reacted well and knocked him out of bounds there.
So it's going to be 4th down and a couple, and it'll be a decision Gaffney has to make. Do you take the field goal here, or do you try to get the first down or 6 points? Looks as if they're going to try to get the first down. A little bit of a gamble early on, not taking what might be considered sure points. Gaffney brings them up. 4th down and a short 2. Hands it off, first down and more, maybe 6 it is. Touchdown, Little John from 5 yards out. A bit of a gamble by Gaffney High School, but it pays off for 6.
Well, you know, those kind of gambles, if it had been stopped and everybody had been yelling at him, but, you know, we got a touchdown, so now he's a hero.
So the Indians with back-to-back turnover conversions for points. And, boy, that's huge to be able to do that.
Well, it certainly is.
So they'll try to tack on the extra point with 49 seconds remaining in the first half. Kick is up and wait for the signal. It's good. So really, to this point in the ball game, neither team has really been stopped by the other defense. Sumter has just been stopped by its own mistakes. Richardson, a fumble on a tremendous blindside hit, and then earlier an interception. Let's take a look at the touchdown, and you'll see that going in from 4 yards out was Little John. A little bit of a gamble on 4th down. So Sumter High School, which marched 75 yards on 13 plays to begin the football game, now finds itself before the end of the quarter trailing 14-7.
Well, like I said, you hit it on the head, Don, with Sumter stopped themselves, but Gaffney's created some of those situations too with the blitz call. And like I said, game's a long way from being over, and we did hit one thing. It's not going to be a shutout.
That's exactly right. And really the games that have been played already have been high scoring. Offense certainly is in vogue here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Very short kick is going to be taken by David Joes, who went ahead and took a knee. Now wide receiver David Joes, used to running with football. I'm surprised he didn't try to return that one, but that must be the orders. If it's kicked short, grab it and get down quickly.
Well, I think, he's not used to returning the football out of that situation. A lot of them are coached to fair catch it if it's a short kick. Of course, that was a bounce thing, so he just immediately took a knee.
So Sumter on the near sideline. Richardson throws out into the flat. That is to Joes. It's complete, 35, and he's out to the 36-yard line. Very close to being a backwards pass, but pretty much a lateral along the line of scrimmage. Joes was able to catch it, turn it upfield, picked up 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5. About the safest pass you could possibly throw.
Well, you can really see the accuracy and the strength of Will's arm there. When he threw it out that wide, right on the money.
So Sumter goes eye in the backfield. Up under center is Richardson. Throws across the middle. Has his man at the 50-yard line. It is C.J. Reinhardt as he just threw a little bit of a post pattern right across the middle. And it is complete for the first down. Sumter will move into Gaffney territory. Yes. However, there is a penalty flag back at the line of scrimmage where you normally would see holding, or it could be illegal procedure.
Might be some kind of formation problem. I don't know, Don.
Yeah, I think you're right. That play developed too quickly for holding to really be a consideration. Yep, they didn't have enough men on the line of scrimmage. So it'll be a 5-yard walk-off. It negates what was a 20-yard gain.
And this is what I talked about at the beginning of the broadcast. You got to not make mistakes. You got to focus and and do things right and execute right.
Could be the last play of the quarter. 2nd down 10. And the pitch goes to Kenneth Rose, and he'll pick up only 2 or 3. And that will be the end of the first quarter. When we come back for period number 2, Sumter trailing 14-7 will be facing a 3rd down and 7 situation. We've played one at Williams-Brice Stadium on a beautiful sun-splashed early winter afternoon. Temperatures in the low 50s, winds briskly out of the north, and the fans are having a great time. We'll be back with the second quarter in just a moment. This is the Southland Longhorns Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
ETV's coverage of high school football is sponsored by Wendy's and the South Carolina High School League.
We'll have 2 cheeseburgers.
We've shut down the grill. You can order from our late night menu.
What's on it?
Nothing I'd eat.
Hungry and it's late? Come to Wendy's pickup window for something fresh and eat great, even late.
Hey, if you're going to Wendy's, bring me back a Frosty.
I want public television to bring to my children and grandchildren the things that I treasure. And if I can help those children open their eyes and see the possibilities, I think I've made myself just a teeny weeny bit immortal by giving this gift.
Play was quickly back in. It was a 3rd down and 7 play to begin the second quarter, and Richardson was able to find his intended receiver, Joes, out at the 43-yard line to pick up the first down with a yard to spare. So 1st and 10 Sumter. They'll keep the football on the ground to begin this series, and Kenneth Rose on the off tackle to the right side picks up about 5. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
Well, that was a key 3rd down conversion because Gaffney had just scored, and that was going to be a 3 and out for Sumter. So, you know, it's very important for them to hold on to the football there.
Total yardage in the game, Sumter has 82 yards, Gaffney 81. So it'll be 2nd down, and Richardson going to keep as he fakes to his fullback and carries off the right side. A little bit of an option. Picks up just a couple, and that's about it. It'll be 3rd down and 2. Boy, in the short time that this game's been going on, that was the 24th play already for Sumter. But I think they've shown about 16 different plays. Their offensive playbook must be about 2 inches thick.
Well, unfortunately, it's gotten like that for about every high school in Division I. I keep telling coaches we're our own worst enemy. We're doing too much.
3rd down and 2, and they'll try to pick up the first down with Rose, and he is hit about a yard shy of the sticks at the Gaffney 48-yard line. So it'll be interesting with Coach Sorrells and his staff here as Littlejohn makes the hit. They face a 4th and 1. They are in Gaffney territory. They've lost some momentum in this football game. What do you do here? Looks like they're going to bring the kicking team in and play it safely, try to play the position game.
Well, it's too early to do this, to take a gamble out here with this kind of field position at stake. They need to back Gaffney up and hope that they'll have a turnover sort of like Sumter had.
So Brian Prisbilla will be in to punt for the first time. Sumter has scored a touchdown and had 2 interceptions. This is their 4th possession. First time they've had to punt. 4th and 1 at the Gaffney 48-yard line. Gaffney's got 1 man back at about the 10-yard line.
And Gaffney's very strong on this specialty teams with their punt returns. They do a great job of returning, do a great job of blocking.
Prisbilla kicking into the wind gets a little bit of a floater. Not a long kick, but not returnable. About 27 yards, depending on 22 is where they're going to say at the 22-yard line. About a 26-yard kick, but no return, and Gaffney will take over their 1st and 10.
But wind is really affecting the kicking game.
Right. And every kick we've had in the ball game has been kicked into that wind so far. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Gaffney at the 22-yard line. They've had excellent field position on their last 2 possessions thanks to turnovers, and they were able to convert them into points. Now they're back into their own territory as Gaffney will bring them out, and he's got 1 man in the backfield. 3-step drop, and the pass is deflected by defensive tackle Eric Ball. Got his big hand up there, knocked it down, and it will be 2nd down and 10.
Well, you know, one of Sumter's big strengths on defense is the front 3. And offensive lines have had trouble handling them all year long. Of course, their linebackers are good. The biggest question, I think, about Sumter's defense is their depth in the secondary, because they've lost several people due to injuries during the year.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10 for the Indians. Gaffney will go back into the shotgun formation with Trevon Green. 1 man beside him, throws out into the left flat. That is to Melton. Melton has it, but he'll only get a couple. He's out there, a little safety valve pass.
It was a great tackle in the open field by the cornerback. Object of that is you're going to send one receiver to block one of the defenders, and then you're one-on-one with the other defender out there, and somebody's got to make a play. Either your receiver makes a play or the defensive back makes a play.
So it'll be 3rd down and 8 at the 24-yard line. Ball conversion down here for the Indians. Gaffney out of the shotgun. Sumter, 4-down lineman. Gaffney back, rolling right, looking for an intended receiver, and it's almost intercepted. In fact, thrown right into the hands of Isaac Green, who just could not believe his good fortune and couldn't hold on to the football. Boy, Gaffney tried to force that one in there. There were white shirts all around that football, and threw it really right to Green, who couldn't hold on to it.
Well, that's been one of the things with Antonio, that they're trying to get him to be patient, take what the defense gives him, and he has 9 interceptions, and sometimes he does try to force the ball in.
Well, he never really looked off anywhere either. He was locked in on that position the entire time on that play.
Well, I think when he was just a little late in delivering that. When the receiver broke, he was open, but then Sumter closed very well on the pass.
Line of scrimmage, the 24, Melton to kick. This time he'll have the wind behind him, and it helps a little bit. It will be taken on the run at midfield by Tyrell Davis, and he's not really going to have anywhere to go. So Sumter will have pretty good field position, though, for this possession. They're on their own 49-yard line. 14-7, Gaffney leads. Sumter drew first blood. Gaffney has scored twice since then. So the Gaffney Indians, after giving up a touchdown early, they've really dug in on defense, and Phil Strickland had a chance to talk about his defensive unit a little earlier in the week.
Well, defensively, it's two very similar teams. They're very balanced too, so we can't really set on the run, and we can't set on the pass. So we've got to be a balanced defense too, and we got to try to stun at the proper times and get people in the right place at the right times, and try to keep that quarterback from picking us apart.
They have done a good job since that first drive, considering the variety of offensive formations and plays that they have seen from Sumter. There was a 5-yard walk-off against the Indians, which has moved the football into Gaffney territory. Sumter will have it 1st and 5. They're at the 47-yard line. High in the backfield, Richardson gives it to the first man through, and it'll be a pickup on the play of a couple, down to about the 45-yard line. We'll wait for the pile to untangle, and we'll tell you. It was Toomer who carried it, picked up just a couple, maybe 3. 2nd down and 2, we'll call it, from the 45-yard line.
Sumter's in the area of the field which is probably in the worst shape around the logo right there, and so the footing is going to be treacherous there.
So they've gone into a stacked eye on 2nd down and 2. Fake to the deep back. Richardson wants to throw the home run ball. Got a man out there and overshoots him once again. 2nd time today that Will Richardson has had a man downfield open, and he has been unable to hook up with him. C.J. Reinhardt, who's been his big play man all season long, had his man beat only by a step or 2, but Richardson was unable to hook up with him. Again, we talked about the wind. Even though he was throwing into the wind there, doesn't really matter whether it's into or with. It still is something that you have to take into account, and it's a hard thing to do.
Well, it is, and plus the excitement of this whole situation.
3rd down and 2, they'll try to get it on the ground, and they don't. Pick up a yard is Kenneth Rose, needed 2. So once again, Paul Sorrells and his staff will have a decision to make. It's going to be 4th down and about a yard. Right at a yard, depends on where they spot it down. They may even ask for a measurement just to see how far it is. Clearly short, and it looks like this time the Gamecock coaching staff is thinking about going for this one. I think they're going to call timeout. They may have asked for a measurement so they can see exactly how far it is. Joe, what do you have for us down there on the sideline?
Joe guys was talking to one of his receivers, Myron Wisenden, about running maybe a bad route in that last offensive series for Gaffney that almost resulted in a Sumter interception. Another story here early in this ball game, William Richardson's missed 2 wide open receivers already for scores. Sumter's down 14-7 here.
It was a timeout that was taken, so it's going to be the Gamecock coaching staff over there to talk about what to do here on 4th and 1. Jim, we'll put you on the spot a little bit. You said a moment ago, and it was only about 3 minutes ago, it was too early to take a gamble. Do you still feel that way?
I do. I think I'd punt the ball and back them up again and see if you can't get a turnover down there. Or you give them great field position. And I've always believed football's game of field position, and of because we never have had big play offenses other than with the running game. And maybe that's why I think that way. But, I think I'd go ahead and punt it. Even if they pick it up here, you're still taking a chance that you're going to lose field position. And
they may have just have brought their offense back on the field to try to draw them offside. We'll have to wait and see.
They did that on the first play.
And Paul Sorrells is not one who is a riverboat gambler, but they do snap it, and Richardson wants to throw it. Got a man wide open. Caught at the 40, 35. Down to the 30 is Toomer, and they pick up the first down, and that is about as wildly unconservative as you will ever find Paul Sorrells to be. And the thing about that one, Jim, is it was wide open. You got Richardson and Toomer, two outstanding players, but boy, it is so easy to drop the football in that situation.
That's true, but they executed it like it should have been. There was almost another interception, but it caught everybody by surprise. They were man-to-man coverage, and those linebackers bit on the play action, and fullbacks wide open and flat.
Richardson almost had that one picked off, as you mentioned, on 1st and 10. But it was incomplete. It was dropped over there by James Epps as he tried to hit Rose on a slant. So it'll be second down and 10.
Looks like we got a penalty today.
So let's pause for station identification. This is the Southland Longhorns Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV. Was a 5-yard penalty against Sumter, so that made it 1st and 15 after that walk-off. Kenneth Rose.
Well, once again, Sumter staying true to form. Now, as a 1st and 15, instead of throwing the ball on first down, they ran it this time.
So it'll be second down and 7. Ball is at the 27-yard line. Second down and 7 at the 27-yard line. Gamecocks are trying to get into the end zone to our left as they're heading into the wind. Richardson is out of the shotgun. Looking right, has a man wide open over there in the flat. It is Toomer inside the 20, has first down yardage down to the 19-yard line. It will be 1st and 10 at the 19-yard line.
Well, Gaffney's once again gotten a little bit of a problem here with being able to hold them. Sumter's just keeping them off balance. They're throwing the ball when they should be running it and running it when they should be throwing it. But they're doing a great job of picking them apart. So
it'll be 1st and 10 for the Gamecocks as Rose will take it on the pitch sweep. Picks up about 4 down to about the 15-yard line. Gamecocks trailing 14-7, 6:47 remaining in the first half as they took this one at about midfield after a punt by Gaffney, and they're trying to drive it into the end zone, and we've got a whistle. Timeout's going to be taken by the Indians. So obviously a tactic by Coach Strickland to try to slow down a little momentum that he feels maybe the Sumter offense has begun to gain here on this drive.
Well, like I said, when your defense is on its heels like they are right now, sometimes you need to just settle them down. I want to say something about Will Richardson, too, while we got a chance. That kid I mentioned earlier has been under a lot of pressure probably his whole life to live up to his family name and this type of thing. He has a little extra pressure today. I don't know whether many people know, but his grandfather passed away early Friday morning, and that's something else that he's having to deal with. But he is just an outstanding young man. He's got 4.1 GPA, over 1,000 on the SAT, and 12th in his class, and he's just a total package.
Outstanding family and tremendous, as you said. It's great to have that older brother to look up to, but also it can be tough sometimes to follow in those footsteps.
When people want to compare you, that's true.
Second down and 6. Richardson, 2-step drop. Boy, he has that man out in the flat. Hits him, and he's down to about the 1, maybe the 2-yard line. Tyrell Davis out there with the little safety valve catch. Richardson picking up on it quickly, and let's see where they spot it. They say he got all the way down to the 3-yard line. Nope, make that the 1. It's going to be 1st and goal. Gamecocks inside the 1-yard line as they try to march into the end zone for the tying score. Now they move it back to the 3.
Just a little hitch route on the outside.
So 1st and goal at the 3-yard line. High in the backfield. First man through is Toomer, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown. So Toomer from 3 yards out. The Gamecocks have gotten within 1, and they'll try to tack on the point to tie the ball game. 6:34 remaining in the first half. So that brings the crowd of the blue and gold faithful across the way on the east sidelines to their feet to cheer. And now the extra point to be attempted by Josh Epps. Snap is back. It's a good one. Kick is up, and it is good. So we're right back where we started, all even. 14 apiece. 6:34 remaining in the first half. More to come. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
I want public television to bring to my children and grandchildren the things that I treasure. And if I can help those children open their eyes and see the possibilities, I think I've made myself just a teeny weeny bit immortal by giving this gift.
Epps to kick, Gaffney to get the kick at the 10-yard line, runs it out to the 20, 25-yard line. A.J. Littlejohn on the return, and that's where the Indians will take over 1st and 10.
We said in the beginning, Don, this was probably the biggest toss-up of all the games, and so far it hadn't shown us to be wrong.
Fred Durant on the tackle for Sumter High. Gaffney and Sumter. Sumter has, from what I'm told, not beaten Gaffney since that 1969 state championship game. They played a 2-game series in the regular season back in 2099, and Gaffney won both of those games. 14-14. Gaffney, the quarterback, on his own 19-yard line. One man beside him gives him the football, and he'll crack straight ahead for about 7, maybe 8. That's A.J. Littlejohn. Clock at 6:19. We're still in the first half. Absolutely a gorgeous day here in Columbia at Williams-Brice Stadium. Pick up on that play of about 8. Good first down play for Gaffney. It'll be 2nd down 2, and that'll enable them perhaps to choose from a variety of things they might want to do on this play. It's going to send 3 men wide to the left side, got 1 to the near side. 1 man in the backfield alongside the quarterback, Antonio Gaffney. Now he switches Littlejohn over to his left side as he operates out of the shotgun. 2nd down 2. Fakes to Littlejohn, keeps himself. Gaffney will have it across the 35-40, out to the 45, and a first down for the Indians at the 46-yard line.
Just a quarterback counter out of the gun. They did a great job on that first play of just running the inside zone. And everybody's looking for A.J. to get it again, and Antonio takes it on the counter.
So it'll be 1st and 10 Gaffney on their own 46-yard line. 14-14 our score. Timeouts remaining, both teams have 2. Out of the shotgun, and again with only Littlejohn beside him. This time he's got 2 men wide to either side. Gaffney on a straight drop, under pressure. Now he's just going to throw this one away. Over to his coaching staff. They made a nice catch on the sidelines.
Sumter did a great job of defending the screen. He threw it away, but I'm not sure he didn't throw it a little bit downfield, so he may have had somebody leave a receiver downfield.
And we've got a flag back here, and we'll wait and see what it is. Could be intentional grounding. That's what they're going to call intentional grounding.
I'm not sure about that one. There was a receiver right over here on the sideline.
Well,
that's not a high school rule.
So, yep, it doesn't matter whether you're in the pocket or outside the pocket. In college, he was still in the pocket. And the decision made by the officials that he was trying just to throw it away, if so, he didn't throw it away far. I do think he was trying to throw the ball away.
Well, that's what you coach your kid to do.
Right.
I mean, you know, he's told to do that. Kid does what he's told to do and gets penalized for it.
But the thing was, if you're the Gaffney coaching staff, is, well, if he was trying to throw it away, it was only 2 yards out of bounds because that's one of the coaches caught the football. So anyway.
Well, it went straight over the receiver's head, too.
That's right. You're absolutely right. It's a 15-yard walk-off. They're all the way back to their own 25-yard line. It's 2nd down and 31. and they're going to run the football, and there is all kinds of room. 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. Picked up the first down as he's down at the 41-yard line.
That's a little bit of a wrinkle that I hadn't seen Gaffney do. This is kind of a sprint draw play out of the gun. And they've had success with that both times. That's the play that Little John scored on the first long play, the 42-yard run.
Second down and 31. They run the sprint draw, and I'm here to tell you there was not one white shirt within 20 yards of Little John when he broke the line of scrimmage. He goes 35 yards for the first down to the Gamecock 41-yard line. Now Little John still with just Little John in the backfield behind him. Gaffney up under center. Sends the tight end in motion. Now he's back, rolling right, looking downfield. Got double coverage down there, and it is almost intercepted by Tyrell Davis. Once again, Gaffney tried to force it to Sidney Rice. The Gamecocks had it well covered with Tyrell Davis and Isaac Green back there.
Well, Sidney can make some plays, and you're got to give him a chance during the game to make some plays. Now, he made 2 big plays against Somerville last week, and they did get good double coverage over there, but he almost still made the play, so you got to give him that chance.
You're absolutely right. In fact, it was really an outstanding defensive play by Tyrell Davis, because it looked for a moment as if Sidney Rice might make a circus catch. It's second down 10. We're tied at 14 with 4.5 remaining in the first half. Indians threatening at the Gamecock 41-yard line. Gaffney back into the shotgun with Little John beside him, and the play is whistled dead just as it is snapped. We'll see what that's all about. Could have been some movement.
Flag on the play.
We do not have a play clock, so if anybody ever threatens to use too much time, we wouldn't know it. And that's what the call is going to be, too much time there.
Once again, these little mistakes, the penalties that'll take you out of drives, so they have to get themselves focused again on what they need to do to improve their execution.
So it'll be second down and 15 after the 5-yard walk-off. Gaffney out of the shotgun, gives to Little John. This time not much there. Picks up about 5 or so. Sumter in a little bit of a safe defense, but they kept some people home to contain him. They allowed him to get about 5 back to the original line of scrimmage, which was the 41. Not quite there. It's going to be third down and 11. Clock rolling at 4:10 to go in the first half. 14-14. It's been a good one, just as we anticipated it would be, and the fans here are thoroughly enjoying it.
Well, this is a big play in this drive right here. Ball possession down.
So it's 3rd and 11. Gaffney. And whistles continue to blow all over the place down below. And I think a timeout is going to be called. Looks like it's an official's timeout. I didn't see it whistled for either
Looks like
team.
we've got an equipment problem with one of the kids.
Jim Ringer, the head coach at Rock Hill High School, alongside me here at Williams-Brice Stadium, lending us his expertise. Played Gaffney first game of the season back in August, also scrimmaged the Gamecocks. I imagine a lot, though, changes from August till December for each team.
Certainly it does, and you know, it's a whole nother season now. I mean, you know, they've played a season and they've improved. Sumter's improved, and they're here in Columbia, and we're not. That's the problem.
third down and 10. Gaffney out of the shotgun. Rolls deep and left. Looking. Got a man wide open down the sideline. All alone in the end zone. Touchdown. It's Malcolm Long who ran free. I don't think Little John ever intended to throw it to him until he realized there were no white shirts within 20 yards of him. Long was in the end zone like a punt returner, just waiting on the ball to come down to him.
Well, he ran a little. I think I caught that he was running an out and up, and everybody bit in on the curl because they're so concerned about Sidney, and he just broke free. The corner bit in, and he was wide open. I saw it opening up about midway through the play. That's a big play receiver for them too. He hadn't caught very many balls, but every one he catches seems to be a big play.
And I think you're absolutely right. Sidney Rice was where Gaffney wanted to go. Extra point kick is up, and it may not have been very artistic. It wasn't very pretty, but it was good.
You don't get style points.
3:34 left in the half, 21-14 Gaffney. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
ETV is proud to broadcast high school football championships. When you join at the $50 level, you'll receive a full membership to the ETV endowment and one tape of the game of your choice as our gift to you. Become a member today and support high school football.
Gamecocks took the kickoff at the 20-yard line, returned it over midfield to about the 43-yard line. As the man returning was going down, he tried to lateral, but unfortunately for him, the ball went slightly forward. So that's going to negate another 30 yards that the Gamecocks picked up, and they're also going to have, that's a 5-yard walk-off. So, but still, despite all of that, Tyrell Davis's return will give them a great field position at the Gaffney 48-yard line.
Those are two great football teams. I tell you, Sumter hurt them with the specialty team then, and a lot of times in close ball games, it's the specialty teams that make the difference.
So Richardson brings him up under center. Hands off to the lone back behind him, and down to about the 40-yard line is Kenneth Rose. We got a second look in the booth on the kick return, and from the angle given to us, we really couldn't tell. It was very, very close, but the official right there on the spot said it was an illegal forward pass, so it'll be second down and a 5, or second down and 2 rather. Pass intended for Toomer is incomplete. Out in the right flat, they had man coverage over there. On the defense was James Epps, who helped knock the ball away. It'll be third down and 2 for Sumter. They're trailing 21-14 after the big touchdown pass just a moment ago from Gaffney to Malcolm Long has given the Indians a 7-point lead. 2:48 remaining in the first half.
Key play right here, Don.
Third down and 2. Sumter going to keep it on the ground. First down and more. Kenneth Rose. Rose inside the 30 down to the 25-yard line. That'll move the sticks for the Gamecocks and keep the drive alive.
Well, Kenny Rose is, like I say, he's not very big. Weighs about 155 pounds, but they just ran the counter again, and he squirted through a hole. Sometimes when you got those small backs like that with big offensive linemen, the defense has a hard time spotting him. And he's done that kind of job all year long for them. I think it's been the perfect complement to their passing game with Will. So just can't say enough about Kenny Rose.
So it'll be first down and 10 for Sumter at the 25-yard line. Just outside the 25. Richardson will operate as they move toward the north end zone to our left. Out of the shotgun. Richardson throws out into the right flat, and it is caught, but there is nowhere to go. Well, we have seen the Gamecocks use that play. That was completed to Tyrell Davis probably about 6 times today, and for the first time, Gaffney had 3 men over there to really stifle that and give him nowhere to go. In fact, they lose about 1.5 yards on the play. It'll be second down and 11 at the 27.
Gaffney's real good at running that same play, so they get to practice defending it all the time.
So back up under center is Richardson. They're going to run the football off the right side with Kenneth Rose, and he's going to get the yard back that they just lost, and that's about it. Maybe 1 yard more to the 25-yard line. Clock rolling at 1:50 to go. Timeouts, though, remaining 2 for each team. So really the timing not a big factor yet. 21-14, Indians lead it. Gaffney with only 1 loss on the season, 13-1. Gamecocks undefeated at 14-0, although they had a 1-point squeaker with Conway early in the year, 40-39. Third down 9 for the 25-yard line. Richardson back, straight drop, throws right flat, complete, but the receiver went down to his knees to catch the football, which of course eliminated any chance that he had of running. That was C.J. Reinhardt. It's going to be 4th down and about 3, and Paul Sorrells, who has an outstanding field goal kicker, will have to decide whether he wants to gamble for 6 here or take the 3, and they'll take a timeout to talk about it.
Well, this is one of the big decisions that they have to make early in the ball game. And once again, we got a whole another half to play. They do have an outstanding field goal kicker, even though he's kicking into the wind. Sometimes you can get a little bit impatient, but we'll just see what he decides on this 4th-3 situation.
So a minute 11 remaining, and no indication what Sumter is going to do. I think, though, it's just a feel that they're going to try to go for it here. I don't think that Paul Sorrells feels field goals are going to help him win this football game with so many points being put up already and expecting probably a lot more to come.
Well, it's going to be a lot more points scored, I think, in this ball game.
But sometimes the field goal can be the 3 that you need to win the game.
Exactly, at the end.
But it is going to be the offense that's on the field for the Gamecocks. They have it at the 18-yard line. They have 2.5, maybe 3 to go on 4th down.
First thing to look for is the hard count. Well, they didn't use that, but there goes the
quick
counter
count,
again.
have the first down and more. Inside the 15 as Kenneth Rose. He's down to the 11. That will move the sticks. It'll be 1st and 10, Gamecocks at the 11-yard line. A minute 5 remaining. Sumter will have now 1 timeout remaining, but with 65 seconds, clock beginning to roll right now, should have enough time for 3, maybe all 4 plays on this series. They could get a first down at the 1-yard line. Richardson out under center, rolls left, going to tuck it and run, not going to have a lot of room. He's going to get about 3 down to the 8-yard line. Now, because that was a running play, we'll see if they'll use their timeout here. Does not appear that they will, and this is where you lose a lot of seconds.
Well, but they're an expert at running no-huddle offense, so, they don't lose that much time.
So 2nd down and 7 from the 8-yard line. Richardson out of the shotgun. Moving, he's under pressure again, caught from behind, sacked back at the 15-yard line.
Now,
Making the tackle was Brandon Robinson, and now Gaffney will have to use, or Sumter rather, will have to use their last timeout. Brandon Robinson just barely got a hold of one of the ankles of Will Richardson and brought him down at the 15.
It's a key situation for Gaffney. If they can hold them here and make them kick the field goal, then they go in halftime with the lead. If not, then we'll just start all over again if Sumter gets on the scoreboard.
So it'll be 3rd down and 14 from the 15. With 24 seconds remaining, no timeouts. Sumter, obviously, I would think, Coach, will throw the football here, try to throw it into the end zone for 6, and if they fail, I'm sure they'll go ahead and attempt the field goal. When you say attempt, it would be a 32-yard field goal. Really, Sumter does not want a completion anywhere in the field of play because it might be very difficult to get that team on and get that 4th down play off.
Well, first of all, they couldn't even spike the ball because it'd be 4th down.
It'd be 4th down, that's right.
So they do have to go to the end zone, and of course you better look out for C.J. Reinhardt because they're going to try to find him.
Of course, Gaffney knows you've got to go to the end zone. So you could throw underneath and try to surprise them. Let's see what they do. It's 3rd and 14 at the 15. He's going to throw a lateral pass. Now a throwback to Richardson. Very slow developing. Richardson has it, but he's going to go to the 14-yard line. The throwback by Reinhardt. Now they've got to hurry on and get that field goal unit on the field. Clock is at 7, 6, 5, 4. They may not make it. Clock is at 2, 1. They do not get the snap off. Very, very, very difficult situation for Sumter as they tried a trick play. It did not work, and Sumter did not get a 4th down play off.
Well, I tell you what, that for being so well played in the first half that ended up like that, you really hate to see that. But they didn't have a timeout left. They knew that if they stayed in the field of play, then they were going to run out of time. Some of their kids just didn't seem like they were quite ready to go on and try the field goal, which surprised me because most of them ran out there, but they had 2 come out there late, and I think that's why they didn't get the snap off.
So, as you said, a lot of excellent play between these two teams, but mistakes as well by both teams. Gaffney has the halftime advantage, 21-14. They'll go into the locker room, both coaches will, and they'll try to get their teams refocused and ready for the final 24 minutes of play. Halftime activities will be coming your way. Bob Shields will anchor here at Williams-Brice Stadium. I hope that you'll stay tuned, and we'll have the second half activities coming up right after that. For those of you listening on the South Carolina, or rather I should say, this is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
ETV's coverage of high school football is sponsored by Wendy's and the South Carolina High School League.
Introducing the Wild Mountain Combos from Wendy's. A hot, smoky Southwestern pepper sauce, Colby Jack, and bacon on hamburger or on Wendy's spicy chicken filet. Now that's something to remember. Wendy's, it's better here.
ETV is proud to broadcast high school football championships. When you join at the $50 level, you'll receive a full membership to the ETV endowment and one tape of the game of your choice as our gift to you. Become a member today and support high school football.
Along with Jim Ringer, head coach at Rock Hill High School, Don Williams with you. We're back at Williams-Brice Stadium. Halftime, the Indians lead it 21-14. Statistically, it's been a pretty even first half game, at least as far as the total yardage is concerned. You see 177 yards for the Gamecocks, 185, if you do the math, for the Indians. And they've mixed it up. As we said in our pregame, I think we did, Jim, that these two teams are pretty well balanced in what they like to do.
Well, you know, we said that Gaffney had a big play offense when we went in, and as you noted, I think that Gaffney's only run 20 offensive plays, but they're ahead in the ball game. I think the big key, of course, has been the turnovers. You know, Sumter had those 2 turnovers, and Gaffney was able to capitalize on them. Sumter, of course, is just going to come back out and run their offense. You know, there's no need to panic. You know, even though Gaffney is going to get the football first, I think the first defensive series for Sumter is going to be a big key. And hopefully they can, as far as if you're a Sumter fan, they hope that they can stop them and get the football back. The time of possession is just extraordinarily one-sided. But unfortunately, you don't get any points for that. It's just what goes up on the scoreboard.
That's right. We looked at the stats and we saw the yardage was fairly even. What is not even is what you alluded to, time of possession. Sumter has dominated the football game in terms of that and in terms of plays run. They've run 45 offensive plays. Gaffney has only run 20. So I think what Gaffney is going to want to do here in the second half, Jim, is they're going to want to try to control the football, move the sticks, get some first downs, and keep that explosive Sumter offense off the field. They have the lead, so they need to limit mistakes, which they've done pretty much in the first 24 minutes, and also just stay on the field. And so while they only threw the ball 10 times in the first half, they only had 20 plays. We may see them try to utilize that ground game a little bit more, which, when you look at the stats, they only ran the ball 10 times, but they gained 117 yards, so they were able to run effectively.
Well, and the Little John already has over 100 yards rushing. You know, and we haven't seen the last of the points scored, I doubt, very seriously. So, you know, Gaffney's not going to abandon what they've been doing either, or try to go simply to a ball control. They'll be open, because I tell you one thing that's glaring in those stats is that Sidney Rice hadn't caught the football but one time. And he is their big play guy, so I look for them to try to find ways to get the ball in his hands more. But at the same time, they are having success running the football with A.J., and they're not going to abandon that either. They'll stay balanced. That's been a key to their success all year long, and they'll keep trying to do that. Big key is whether Gaffney's defense can contain Sumter's offense, and whether Sumter's defense can stop Gaffney from holding on to the football.
There are 5 state championships that will be determined when it's all said and done here at Williams-Brice. Last night, Burns High School knocked off Conway to win the 4A Division II title 40-14. Earlier today, it was Central of Pageland defeating Batesburg-Leesville 40-20. So 40 was the magic number in the first 2 games which have been played, and it well could be 40 or more. When this this one is all said and done. Later on this afternoon, about 5, actually probably looking more like about 5:30, it will be Lamar and Lakeview in the single A state championship game. Then the finale under the lights tonight, the 3A battle between West Florence High School and Greer. Quite a surprise, I think. I can't remember the last time that a Florence school, West, South, or Wilson, was represented in a state championship game. So I know the folks over in the PD area are excited about that.
Well, I know they're excited. And, Don, I can't remember either. I've been coaching for 36 years, and I coached in Conway for 5 years. I was in the region there with the Florence schools. So it has been quite a long time since they've been at a state championship football game, and I know they are excited in that area of the state.
Sitting here looking over the stands, the east and the west sidelines at Williams-Brice Stadium, just about full from goal line to goal line on either side, although it might be a little more well populated on the east side, and I think that's just out of sheer intelligence because that's where the sun is shining down, keeping people a little bit warmer.
I know when we played here last year that we were kind of happy that we would have visitors because we got to stand on the sun side over there and stayed a little bit warmer during the game.
And that wind has been brisk. In fact, looking at the flags over the north end zone, they are blowing much more fiercely than they did in the first half. So the winds have picked up. I don't know how much of an impact that has been in the football game. We've seen Will Richardson have a couple of opportunities for long touchdown passes that did not connect, and I don't know if the wind was a factor in that or not.
Well, it's hard to say, but I think the wind has picked up more than it was in the first half, and we'll just have to see what comes into play there. What it has affected is the kicking game, and as you noted earlier, the first 2 punts, I think both were into the wind, and they were not even 30 yards long, so we'll just have to see how that comes into play here in the second half.
We absolutely could not have better weather for this state championship Saturday. You know, it was just a couple of weeks ago that the Clemson-Carolina battle was waged here, and temperatures were about 75 to 80 degrees throughout the day in anticipation of that game. Well, today the weather has been more typical for this time of year with temperatures around 50 and those brisk winds, but at least we have had sunny skies all day long. It was only a couple of days ago that winter weather, particularly in the upstate, threatened to turn South Carolina into a winter wonderland. So considering all that could be, and considering what's happening up and down the East Coast north of us, I think we're all very fortunate that we've had such a great day.
I know Ronnie Matthews and his crew at the high school league were doing a lot of praying because the forecast did originally call for rain on Friday and Saturday, so evidently those prayers were heard.
The Paul Sorrells prowling the far sideline across the way, shaking his head and probably thinking about what should have been in the first half. His Gamecocks had numerous opportunities. They gave Gaffney 2 excellent chances thanks to turnovers around midfield, and the Indians cashed in both of them for touchdowns. And then the Gamecocks were unable to utilize their 2-minute offense effectively at the end of the first half and let 3 points pretty much surely get away, and perhaps even more than that. So all of that adds up to a 21-14 Gaffney lead, and they do get the football, as you said a moment ago, to begin the second half. And you know that they would love to extend this lead, but just as importantly, you know that they would like to take some time off that clock, because that was one thing they were unable to do in the first half. Gamecocks to kick. Ball is in the air with a wind behind it. It will carry to about the 7-yard line where Sidney Rice has the football. He'll return it across the 20-25 out to about the 28 before Isaac Green and Stephen Graves are in on the tackle for the Gamecocks. 1st and 10 Gaffney. They are on their own 29-yard line. They lead it 21-14.
Big key now for Sumter is this series, and of course I think the whole third quarter, because Sumter has the wind advantage. This is when they need to make a move to establish themselves in the ball game, get themselves a lead, because Gaffney will have that wind advantage in the fourth quarter.
Antonio Gaffney was 5 of 10 in the first half for 68 yards, 1 reception among 5 different receivers. We may see more of Sidney Rice here in the second half. 3 men wide. Gaffney's going to call his own number. Has running room across the 30-35 out to about the 40-yard line. He faked a Little John and then followed him in behind on the offensive line. They'll give him 16 out to the 41 where it'll be 1st and 10 Gaffney. That's their 7th first down of the ball game.
Second time they've run that quarterback counter out of the gun, and have had success with it both times.
Little John had 8 carries, 104 yards. in the first half. He was pretty much the offense. That and a long touchdown pass play as well. Now they are in the shotgun again. Ball at the 41-yard line for the Indians. Gaffney back, wanting to throw. Looking right down the sidelines on the far side of the field. A lot of contact. I don't see a flag. Boy, off it. Here it comes finally. And I'm thinking, and I hate to pre-guess the officials, we might see offensive interference called here on Sidney Rice. Let's see what the discussion is. Flag came well after the play.
That's the only thing I disagree with. I think it could have been offensive pass interference, which is what they're calling. But, gosh, that flag came late. Full 5 seconds, I think, after the play was over.
And it came from the official who was far away from the play. However, it did appear as if it was a good call. So the walk-off is 15 yards against the Indians. And it will be second down and 25. So that moves it back to the 26-yard line, about where it was when they began this drive before they picked up the first down. Second and 25.
And this is what Gaffney did not want to happen. They did not want to get backed up here. They wanted to move the football, take time off the clock, but they're in a tough situation. Not too many plays you call that you put in your playbook for second and 25.
However, do recall they had a 3rd and 31, and they ran a draw play that worked for 35 yards in the first half. Gaffney sprinting right, gets the man out in the flat at the 30-yard line, and that is Melton. And a flag is thrown at the end of the play. Did someone maybe get a little face mask? Was it? Now in high school, is there the 5 and the 15 version?
Yes, and I think this will be a 5-yard. At least that's my guess right now, Don.
The official comes over. Grabbing of the face mask, 5-yard walk-off. However, it still will be second down, right?
Yes.
So they do pick up 5 on the play, 5 on the penalty. Don't lose a down. And so it's now going to be third down or second down still, and 13 as they're out at the 38-yard line.
Big break for Gaffney there.
It was. Indians lead it 21-14. We're just underway, a minute into the third quarter here at the Williams-Brice Stadium. Playing for the 4A Division I state championship. Indians bring Rice in motion to the near side. Gaffney is in the shotgun. Rolls left, going to run a counter on the draw. Running room for Littlejohn across the 45, 50, has the first down.
There's that counter draw again. They got to keep running that. I'm trying to draw it up so we can run that next year.
I think we might see that up in Rock Hill next year. First and 10 Indians as they've moved it down to the 44-yard line into Sumter territory. So that is the second time today that Gaffney, because of penalties, faced second and many and have managed to pick up first downs on each occasion, and that just kills you from a defensive standpoint.
All right, but it's also true that what we keep saying, Gaffney bills itself as having a big play offense.
So at the 44 in Sumter territory, Gaffney fakes to Littlejohn, keeps it again, picks up about 4, down to about the 40-yard line. Starting to call his number a little bit more often. Obviously, they feel right now that they're having success on that line of scrimmage, moving the Sumter defense backwards. Picks up 4, second down 6 at the 40.
Of course, A.J. Littlejohn has not touched the football yet this half. And, of course, Sumter, I imagine, is keying on him because he was a thorn in their side in the first half. So I think he'll get to touch it every once in a while, those two.
So it'll be second down 6. 4 wides for the Indians as Gaffney comes up under center. Takes a 4-step drop, throws into the middle of the field. He's got Rice wide open at the 20, 15, 10, 5, down to the 3-yard line. And we've got a penalty thrown at the end of the play. Justin Boykin was the man there making the tackle for the Gamecocks. And there might have been some words exchanged. If so, we're looking at probably half the distance to the goal line penalty against Sumter, which would move it inside the 2-yard line. Boy, just a quick slant, and he was wide open, was Sidney Rice. And they'll move it down to about the 1.5-yard line where it will be first and goal Gaffney.
I started to comment right before they snapped the ball, Don. That was the first time I've seen them in one-on-one coverage with Sidney out there. And they caught him in it. They had a great vision by the quarterback there, and it's really tough to handle him one-on-one.
So coming over to the sidelines very quickly was Gaffney, the quarterback, to talk with his coaching staff because it took him a while to move the first down sticks. So now he's back out under center. on the field, hands it to Littlejohn. Littlejohn is stopped initially, second effort, gets him into the end zone, touchdown. And so the Indians take the second half kickoff, and despite a big 15-yard penalty which set them back, they end up going 73 yards for a touchdown and have extended the lead beyond 7 for the first time today, 27-14 as they attempt to add the extra point.
Big plays. Big plays.
And the Gamecocks have been guilty of making mistakes. That little 5-yard face mask helped Gaffney a great deal on this drive. The kick is up and it is good. So the Indians get first blood here in the second half, and they have extended their lead to 28-14. Still, though, 9:06 left in the third. That is all day long. We'll be back. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
I want public television to bring to my children and grandchildren the things that I treasure. And if I can help those children open their eyes and see the possibilities, I think I've made myself just a teeny weeny bit immortal by giving this gift.
ETV is proud to broadcast high school football championships. When you join at the $50 level, you'll receive a full membership to the ETV endowment and one tape of the game of your choice as our gift to you. Become a member today and support high school football.
All right, let's go down on the sideline. Joe Cashin with a special guest.
We're down here with Senator Phil Levinas from Sumter. And Senator, how has this championship game energized the city of Sumter this year?
Well, quite a bit. I've got 4 children that graduated from Sumter High School, and everybody in town's into it. Not only the players, but, you know, the band and the cheerleaders. They do an awful lot of work, and they do a great job.
Gamecocks are down 2 touchdowns, but they've been down before this year and come back.
We got a great team. I'm sure that they're going to make it a tough game, and I hope they'll win.
Back upstairs.
Well, just on that play, a little square out pass to David Joes, who dropped it. Sumter utilized that play effectively a couple of times in the first half. And right now, and of course there is a long way to go, and Sumter has come from behind on a couple occasions this year, but they're the team making mistakes. And when you're in a game of this magnitude between 2 evenly matched teams, boy, those mistakes can catch up to you. 3rd down and 8. After a great kick return, gave Sumter the ball at midfield. Richardson under pressure, rolling right, still rolling. May tuck it and run, does, knocked out of bounds at the 45-yard line, but that's going to be 3 yards shy of what they need for a first down. And early here in the third quarter, Paul Sorrells is going to have to decide whether he wants to gamble. Down 2 touchdowns, it appears he will not, as his kicking team comes onto the field.
Well, it's definitely not time to gamble yet. The 2 times during the year that Sumter was behind, they were behind by 2 touchdowns with 5 minutes to go in the game.
Right.
And came back and eventually won the game. So it's not time to panic yet.
One of those was against Irmo just toward the end of the regular season on the road. So 4th down 3, they will kick it away. Brisbilla, line of scrimmage 45, long snap count. No pressure put on. High floating kick, wind aided. It's going to hit at the 5-yard line and spin backwards to the 7. And Sumter will have Gaffney stuck pretty deep in their own territory for one of the few times today. For those of you listening on the South Carolina News Network, let's take this 10 seconds for your station identification. You can't count. 28-14. Gaffney with the lead as the offense comes back onto the field. We talked about in the first half. Gamecocks controlled the football. Gaffney now is turning that around a little bit here in the third quarter. It's Sumter High and Gaffney at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. The Division I 4A state championship game. 7-yard line, Gaffney throws, and it is caught by Sidney Rice for about a 5-yard gain on a square in out in the right flat, 2nd down 5. And you said, Jim Ringer, that we would see Sidney Rice with more touches here in the second half. Indeed, we have.
Well, they have to get him the football. I'll tell you what, that's a gutsy call down there. You need to take care of the football deep in your territory, but once again, they had one-on-one coverage, so they're going to their playmaker.
So 2nd down 5. Now the pitch to Little John. Little John hit and dropped near the line of scrimmage. Isaac Green, linebacker for the Gamecocks, called his name a number of times today. He's made some big plays. Little John got a yard maybe to the 13-yard line, 3rd down 4. Now Gamecocks, trailing by 2 touchdowns, are going to have to start making plays, and this is one that they really need right here. They've got Gaffney pinned pretty deep. It's 3rd and 4. Sumter needs a stop.
Well, this is a big play for both teams because the wind advantage, if Gaffney has to kick from here, Sumter's going to get great field advantage.
So it's going to be eye in the backfield for Gaffney at the 13. Hands off to Little John. Little John tripped up in the backfield. In on the tackle was Alex Limoges, the defensive end, came in off the corner and got a hand on the feet of Little John, dropped him 2 yards in the backfield.
I think we got a holding call, but they'll refuse that, I imagine.
So it is indeed an offensive hold that will be refused by the Gamecocks. It's going to be 4th down and 6, and they will bring Nick Melton in to kick it away for Gaffney. He will be kicking from right about his own goal line, and he'll be kicking into what appears to be about a 20 to 25 mile an hour wind.
Don, you said that somebody needed to make a play, and Sumter's defense made the play.
Yep, came in off the corner, and the Gamecocks will have Tyrell Davis and C.J. Reinhardt. Now they're both back at about the 45-yard line. I don't know if the ball's going to go that far into this wind. Let's see what Melton can do with it. Line of scrimmage is the 11. He'll get the snap, kick it away from the end zone. Pretty good kick. Fair catch is going to be called by Reinhardt at the 40. That'll be a 29-yard kick, no return. And Sumter will set up shop in the Indians' territory, down by 2 touchdowns, 28-14, 6:44 to go in the third.
Sumter needs to take advantage of this field position. Like I mentioned before, the third quarter, they've got the wind. They need to get on the board here to get back in the ball game.
So Richardson and the Gamecocks come out on offense, moving from our left to our right. Little counter play, and gaining about 3, maybe 4 yards as Kenneth Rose off the left side. He stripped a tackle. 2 men really had a shot at him in the backfield, and he managed to squirt forward. They'll spot the football down at about the 37. He got 3 at 2nd down and 7.
Really, he made something out of nothing there.
He did. 2nd down 7. Gamecocks operating very quickly. Out of the shotgun is Richardson, rolling right. He's got some time. Looking, floats it out on the right side and throws it into the 3rd row. Had Reinhardt over there. Double coverage by the Indians, and so Richardson just threw that one out of play. So it'll be 3rd down 7.
Very smart play by Will there. It's hard to get high school kids to throw the ball away when everybody's covered.
You're right. It is. I remember seeing Woodrow Dantzler play often when he was at Orangeburg Wilkinson, and that was the hardest thing, that he absolutely refused to take a bad play. And sometimes when you have so much talent, you think you can make anything happen. Richardson, 3rd down, throws, got his man, and then he drops the football. Reinhardt had it, had the 1st down, could not hold on at the 27-yard line.
I think he was thinking about where he was going before he had control of the football right there.
Gamecocks are making uncharacteristic mistakes, and it really could cost them because they have had excellent field position here on their last 2 possessions. And so once again, Prisbilla is going to be asked to try to pin Gaffney deep into their own territory. Myron Wisenant will go back for the Indians at about the 10-yard line. Line of scrimmage is the 37-yard line. Sumter doesn't have 11 on the field. Now they get them. Prisbilla will hit this one from the Gaffney 45 or so. He'll have a following wind. Kicks it, kind of pooches it, and let's see, we have kind of shanked that one. Let's see what they say. It's going to come all the way out to the 24-yard line. That is going to be only about a 15-yard punt. So Brisbilla tried to get a little too fine with that one. Paul Sorrells had a chance to visit with us earlier in the week and talk about the pride that has been developing among the Gamecock football team throughout the year.
I love where we are right now. As I've already said before, I'm very proud of our guys. We feel like we have tremendous, very, very special kids at Sumter High School, and there's special kids everywhere. But that's where we are, and I just love the guys at Sumter, and I think they've done a tremendous job this year of putting a dream out there in front of themselves and having the courage to chase it day after day after day. And I'm just very proud of our players and our coaches alike.
And the Gamecocks are going to have to really dig down deep amongst themselves as they'll try to dig themselves out of a 2-touchdown hole. And we might be seeing Gaffney starting to see if they can use as much clock as possible. On 1st and 10, Littlejohn carried for about 4. If they can run the football and move the sticks, Coach Ringer, I think they're certainly going to try to do that.
And I like their approach. They're doing a lot of running right now out of the spread.
Rolling to his left is Gaffney. Gaffney has a man out there. It's Melton. Melton is hit as soon as he catches the football. That play will end up only going really for no gain.
Well, I think they were given a good spot right here where he made the catch.
And it will be
just a couple yards.
Yep. No gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 6. So we had offensive fireworks early in this football game. Now the defenses are starting to assert themselves just a little bit. 3rd down and 6. Big play right here for both teams. Gaffney out of the shotgun. They're on their own 28-yard line. Gaffney going to run.
There it is again.
Inside the 30, 35, Littlejohn 40, 45. And once again, Gaffney surprises Sumter with the sprint draw, and they break it for big, big yardage. When they've run that play, Jim, there has been absolutely nobody from a linebacker standpoint anywhere in the middle of the field.
Well, that's they run a sprint package out of the gun when they're throwing it, and it starts off looking like they're running that sprint package, and it winds up being a counter lead draw. So great play.
So Paul Sorrells and the defensive staff at Sumter are pulling their hair out that they've been unable to stop that on 3 or 4 occasions today when it's run for big yardage. Littlejohn gets the carry. This time there's nothing there. Sumter's defense stays home, mans their positions, and stops him for no gain. Right at the 46-yard line. Clock is ticking away now. We're down to 4 minutes to go, 3rd quarter. 28-14, Gaffney with a 2-touchdown lead. It was 14 all. They've scored the last 14, including the first possession here in the 3rd quarter.
Might be time for that. Well, no, they're running a different formation right now, but I think I'd stay with that draw until they stopped it sooner or later.
2nd down, 10. 4 wides, 2 to either side. Out of the shotgun is Gaffney. Takes a 3-step drop, fakes to Littlejohn. Now looking deep down the field. He's going to throw the home run ball, and it is incomplete. Down there intended for Malcolm Long, who had a 42-yard touchdown reception earlier. This time, though, Sumter had 2 men in deep coverage, and they were able to cover that one nicely.
Well, really that was a post pattern on the backside, and A.J. really showed the strength of his arm because he threw that ball a long way into the wind. I think the other defender had been the corner on the other side who was covering Sidney, and the ball was in the air a long time, and he was able to recover and help break it up.
You almost had the problem of Brice and Long being too close to one another, which has allowed that second defender to come free and help on the play. 3rd down, 10. Gaffney rolling right. Out into the right flat, throws it over the head of Brice, the intended receiver. Don't know if that sailed on him or he intentionally threw it away, but Sumter will have held. It'll be 4th and 10, and Gaffney's going to have to kick the football away.
And Sumter's down to having 3 minutes and 23 seconds with the wind advantage.
They're in a position of having to really start making some offensive movement. I don't think they want to get into the position they were in against Irma, where they had to wait till the last 5 minutes of the game.
Right. Well,
not against Gaffney.
They were in the same position with Conway earlier in the year.
That's right.
They were behind by 2.
So here's the snap. Melton will get it away. Good kick. High floater. It's going to be taken at the 15-yard line by Davis. Davis gets out to the 20, and that's about it. They'll ride him out of bounds there. Good kick. That was
into the wind.
It really was. That was a 40-yard punt. into the wind. About a 5-yard return for the Gamecocks, and they'll take over 1st and 10 on their own 19-yard line, trailing 28-14. Richardson on the day is 11 for 20, but only for 76 yards. Most of his completions have been the safe, short ones. Throws this one out into the right flat. Reinhardt has it. 35-40. Shows his speed. 50, 40, 35, 30, 25, 20. C.J. Reinhardt will go 81 yards for a touchdown.
I hate to say that I started to say it, but I started to say C.J. Reinhardt hadn't touched the ball either, sort of like Sidney hadn't on the other side, and he just made a heck of a play right there.
We talk about the short, safe routes. That was one. Reinhardt just happened to get man coverage out there and put a great move on his man, and then showed some speed. He ran away from people.
Well, we saw him up close and personal in a scrimmage. He did that to a couple of our kids on a short pass. We ran him down, thank goodness, but he's got great speed.
So Josh Epps will try to draw the Gamecocks within 7. One play, 81 yards. On the touchdown. Snap is back. In a game this tight, every kick is huge, and that one goes through. So the Gamecocks have pulled within 7, and they have energized that sun-splashed crowd across the field here at Williams-Brice Stadium. We'll have more as we continue. This is the Southland Longhomes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and on ETV.
ETV is proud to broadcast high school football championships. When you join at the $50 level, you'll receive a full membership to the ETV endowment and one tape of the game of your choice as our gift to you. Become a member today and support high school football.
Well, it's been a quiet week in Lake Wobegon, my hometown. This portion of our show brought to you by Powder Milk Biscuits.
Do you want to spend the winter here, or don't you?
That's the news from Lake Wobegon. Where all the women are strong, all the men are good looking, and all the children are above that.
Well, I don't know if the entire Sumter football team is energized by that 81-yard touchdown pass play, but certainly kicker Josh Epps was, because he just pounded that one about 8 yards deep into the end zone, albeit with the wind helping him. And so it'll be 1st and 10 Gaffney from their own 20-yard line as they need to try to quiet the momentum that the Gamecocks feel after that touchdown pass play. 28-21 now our score. Indians lead by 7. Little John on that counter tray, and he will get nothing. Right back to the line of scrimmage, and the Gamecocks are there to knock him down. Jeremiah Nicholson leads the charge from the linebacking core.
Tried that play out of a different formation this time, back to the tight end, and didn't have something spread out as much as they did earlier.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. At the 20-yard line, Gaffney will send 3 wide right. One man behind him as he's up under center. Throws a floater down the left side, and it is incomplete. Had his man down there. The intended receiver was Myron Wizardon. He had his man beat on man coverage, but the ball floated a bit on Gaffney, just out of his reach at the 50-yard line. It'll be 3rd down and 10. And boy, the last thing Phil Strickland wants right now is to put his defense back onto the field immediately and allow Sumter to really build on this momentum.
That's right. They cannot stand to have a 3 and out. They need to get some kind of thing going with the football and hold on to it for a little bit to let something quiet down.
This, though, has been where Gaffney has been so effective today. 3rd and long situations. Gaffney back to throw across the middle. It's incomplete. He had a man crossing. It was Wisden again at the 25-26 underneath the coverage, and he could not hold on. The ball was just a little bit high. Down on the sidelines is Joe Cashin.
Guys, Sumter has been behind before this year, twice this season, down by 2 touchdowns against both Conway and Irmo. They came back to win both of those games. Of course, they were here down 2 touchdowns earlier. They look like they might be on the comeback trail again.
Well, let's see. Looks like they're going to have pretty good field position, too. Melton kicking into the wind, although he's done a good job with that. Throughout the quarter, gets a great roll. Well, you got to catch that football if you can, because that's an extra 15 yards on the punt as it rolls all the way down to the 37. Sumter will have it on their own 37. 1st and 10, trailing by 7.
About a 43-yard punt into the wind.
Yep. So, Richardson and his quick strike offense back out onto the field as they bring an I-back offense in. And fake the handoff to the fullback. Richardson will keep, and there is nothing there. Well, you don't expect to see Richardson run that option very often. Second time they've run it today, and first time they surprised him for 4 or 5 yards. This time nothing. Second down, yeah, they give him a yard. Call it 2nd and 9. So now they're back to a 1-back set. 3 men wide left, 1 to the near side, and we've got movement. Sumter snapped it quickly, thinking Gaffney had come across, but the Gamecocks seem to be backing up, so it may have been on Sumter.
Yeah,
I think it was.
Had some confusion in the snap count right there.
So a 5-yard walk-off against the Gamecocks. We'll move the football back to the 33-yard line. It'll be 2nd down 14. 28-21 Gaffney leads. We're down to 92 seconds here in period number 3 of the 4A Division I state championship game. Now out of the shotgun is Richardson. Got some time, blind side, down he goes. Coughed one up earlier today when that happened. Brandon Robinson, he was the man who was the recipient of a fumble recovery earlier. This time he makes the tackle and drops Sumter all the way back to the 27-yard line, where it's going to be 3rd down and 20.
That's the same kid that made the hit in the first half to cause the turnover.
So, let's see if the Gamecocks have any 3rd and long magic of their own. Richardson back, looking to throw. Throws right down the middle of the field. Ball is tipped and it's incomplete. Intended for David Jones, who was double covered. Had it been picked off, it would be as good as a punt, but he almost came up with it on the deflection. Incomplete, though, and Sumter will have to kick away.
Big series there for the Gaffney defense.
No question.
After giving up the big play and going 3 and out and coming in and turning Sumter into a 3 and out, that was really big.
We didn't have many punts in the first half. This 3rd quarter has been full of them. And Prisbilla will kick it away again. Line of scrimmage, the 27. Wind behind him, whipping, if the flags can be believed, at the top of the stadium. A little pressure put on, but Prisbilla gets it away. And it will hit and roll a couple of yards down to about the 33. Good kick. Gaffney will have it at their own 33-yard line. That's a 40-yard kick. No return. And it'll be 1st and 10 Gaffney. 28-21, Indians lead. It was a 1-touchdown margin when this quarter began. Maybe when it ends. Each team having scored once.
Now Gaffney, to keep the ball on the ground, they'll at least get the wind advantage here in the 4th quarter.
Gaffney, the quarterback, changing plays at the line of scrimmage out of the shotgun. From the 34-yard line, fakes to Little John, keeps it himself, breaks a tackle, but all that does is getting back to the line of scrimmage. Sumter starting to pick up a little bit more on some of the misdirection stuff that Gaffney's been running throughout the day. Staying closer to home on their assignments. It'll be 2nd down 10.
Defensive coaches making some great adjustments. The 2 most successful plays that Gaffney's had is the quarterback counter and that counter draw. And the last 2 times that Gaffney's tried them now, they've been shut down.
We might have just seen, in fact, I'm sure of it, the last play of the third quarter. Clock will wind down, and we will go into the final stanza with the score: Gaffney 28, Sumter 21. Barring overtime, it's all going to be decided in the next 12 minutes of action here at Williams-Brice Stadium. This is the Southland Log Homes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
ETV's coverage of high school football is sponsored by Wendy's and the South Carolina High School League.
Honey, we need milk. I better go get some.
We have 3 gallons.
When that's supposed to be enough for 2 kids?
Hungry and it's late? Come to Wendy's pickup window for something fresh and eat great, even late.
Where's the milk?
Honey, we have 3 gallons.
I want public television to bring to my children and grandchildren the things that I treasure. And if I can help those children open their eyes and see the possibilities, I think I've made myself just a teeny weeny bit immortal by giving this gift.
Fourth and final period about to get underway here at Williams-Brice Stadium. Gaffney with the football, facing 2nd and 10 on their own 34-yard line. It's a 28-21 lead for Gaffney. And Coach Jim Ringer, this is where a season of dreams will be realized by one and a nightmare of sorts for the other.
Well, it is, and it's a shame that you get this far and one team's going to be so sad at the end of the day, and it'll take them a couple of weeks to realize what they accomplished.
Absolutely. So, 2nd and 10. Gaffney, pitch, hit in the backfield is Little John, all the way back at the 25-yard line. It looked as if that was some sort of a reverse that was coming on, and the Gamecocks smelled it out and managed to stifle it before it even developed.
They had a blitz on from the outside, and perfect call defensively for what they happened to be doing offensively, because I think that if Rice could have gotten his hands on the ball on that reverse, it was open down the sideline.
So a loss on the play of 8, back to the 26-yard line, and it's 3rd down and 18. But for the Gamecock fans across the way, you don't want to celebrate too quickly because you've been burned on this several times throughout the afternoon. 28-21. 3rd and 18 for Gaffney. Gaffney, the quarterback, back under pressure. Throw in the middle screen. Melton can't hold on. And if he had, there wouldn't have been a whole lot there for him, I don't think.
Well, I don't know. They had that middle screen, that tunnel screen set up pretty good. If he could have thrown just a little bit high, and of course the pressure may have caused that, but he had some blockers out there in front of him, and you know, he's just coming back off a shoulder injury. I think had separated his shoulder against Spartanburg, so if he'd have held on to that, though, I think he could have picked up some yardage. Don't know whether he got the first down or not.
So the Indians will kick it away from their own 26. Sumter has their return men back at about the 40-yard line. Now Gaffney kicking with the wind. It's a low line drive, which is gathered in at the 45-yard line. Dancing around to the 50 and into Gaffney territory to the 48-yard line is C.J. Reinhardt, man who scored a touchdown a little while ago. And Sumter will start again in Gaffney territory, looking for the tying score as the fourth quarter has just begun.
Once again, they've got great field position. They'll try to take advantage of that.
So Will Richardson, in his final game in Gamecock blue and gold, brings them out at the 49-yard line. Hands off to Kenneth Rose, and Rose will pick up just a couple. The traditional I-back running game for Sumter really has not been terribly effective today. And on first down, when they've run it, they've rarely gotten more than a couple, maybe 3 yards.
Well, I tell you, with the effort that the Gaffney defense had last week against Somerville in their running game, you know, you wouldn't expect too many people to be able to run it if they give that same kind of effort.
Richardson comes up under center, one man in the backfield, takes a 3-step drop, pass is tipped across the middle and incomplete, intended for Chris Blanding on a slant down to about the 30-yard line. Somebody on the defensive line got a hand on it real quickly, so it's going to be 3rd down and 8.
Once again, pressure's on the defense, and you know, Sumter's got plenty of time. it's just a one-touchdown lead. And of course, as we saw a while ago, it doesn't take but one play for them to get points in a hurry.
So it's 3rd down 8. Sumter has been stopped a number of times today. Once they've gotten into Gaffney territory, unable to go much further. They're going to try to run it on 3rd and 8, and there's nothing there. Kinrose got 2 yards. That's about it. To the 45-yard line, where it's going to be 4th and 6. And these punters, I hope they really loosened up those hamstrings at halftime, because they have been using them here in the second half.
Well, I don't think anybody in the stadium was looking for that call. They tried to counter draw, sort of like Gaffney's been doing, but Gaffney didn't bite on it.
So Prisbilla now will be kicking into a win. Line of scrimmage is the 45. He's done a good job today. The last time Gaffney brought some pressure, and he barely did get it away. Long snap count. Sumter maybe trying to draw them off sides. Now they snap. Prisbilla gets it away, angles it away from the return man, and it's going to be picked up on the 3rd bounce at the 6-yard line. Good job by Wizard as he brings it back to the 16-yard line. I thought that was a little risky, picking it up as he did, as deep as he did in his own territory, but he is able to bring it back out to the 16-yard line.
It is very fortunate right there, because that ball was bouncing on the ground inside the 10, and most coaches will tell you to let it go if it's inside the 10, but it wound up being okay because he was able to break the tackle.
So a 39-yard punt by Prisbilla, but a 10-yard return by Myron Wizarded, and Gaffney will have it 1st and 10 on their own 16. They want nothing more than to run clock. 9.5 to go. They have a 7-point lead. Both teams have all their timeouts remaining. Gaffney, the quarterback, out of the shotgun, rolling right, looking downfield on a square-in pattern, and it is complete. Sidney Rice has it. That will gain them some yardage and a 1st down out at the 31-yard line.
Just a little stop route on the outside by Sidney, and you've got to respect the deep threat that he gives you. And so the corner was playing a little bit loose, and he stopped, and Antoine delivered the ball right where it needed to be.
So a 15-yard pickup for the Indians, and they'll have it at their own 31-yard line. 1st and 10. 28-21, Gaffney leads. Coming up later on this afternoon, it'll be Lamar and Lakeview. Single-A state championship tonight, West Florence and Greer. Out of the shotgun is Gaffney on 1st and 10, throws across the middle, dropped. He had Sidney Rice for another 15-yard pickup and maybe more, and he could not hold on. And it almost ended up in the hands of Kenneth Rice of Sumter for an interception. 2nd down 10.
Very unusual to see that, and that's the same play that they tried to run on 3rd down there at the end of the 3rd quarter, and Sidney was wide open on it, and they just didn't deliver it to him. They tried it that time, and he just couldn't hold on.
So it'll be 2nd down and 10. Indians at their own 31-yard line. Gaffney, the quarterback, in the shotgun. Hands off to Little John. Little John springs forward for about 4. Had it not been for one man, and it's Isaac Green yet again, who got him by the ankle, that might have been a huge gain, but Green was able to trip him up after a gain of 4. It'll be 3rd down and 6.
And if that's one thing that I've noticed here in the second half is that A.J. has not touched the ball nearly as much as he did in the first half.
So it'll be 3rd down and 6. 3 men go wide to the left. Rice is to the near side, and Gaffney rolls that way, looking for it. Now he'll have to run, and he has nowhere to go. The Gamecocks close fast. Again, Isaac Green, joined by Eric Ball, knock him down for a loss on the play of a couple, and the Indians are going to have to kick it away.
And now the defenses are coming up big here.
Yes, they are. Both teams are playing for everything they are worth. The difference in the game, 7 points. Really more telling, the 2 turnovers Sumter has, Gaffney has not committed any. They will kick it away. Line of scrimmage, their own 34-yard line. Melton to kick. High floater, which will be taken, and Reinhardt dropped immediately at the 32-yard line. 34-yard kick, no return. Sumter will take over 1st and 10. They're on their own 32. And with 8 minutes remaining in the football game, now every possession becomes critical.
And you see who made that tackle, didn't you, Don?
I did not.
That was Mr. Rice, the do-everything guy, I guess, for Gaffney. So he made the play on the coverage there.
So Richardson brings them out up under center. Rolls right and throws, almost intercepted, boy. Gaffney kind of suckered him into thinking that was open. The little safe throw out into the flat to Reinhardt, and someone, Travis Smith, stepped up and really, frankly, probably should have had the football for the interception, could not gather it in. Gamecocks live to play another down. Second down, 10. Richardson now in the shotgun. Setting up the screen. It's complete, 30, 35, 40, out to the 41. Close to first down yardage, Kenneth Rose. Gamecocks have not run that play very often today. Might have been the first time. Picked up about 10. And on the spot they do have the first down at the 42-yard line, 1st and 10.
Excellent blocking by his offensive line out in front of that screen there.
And great patience by Rose, allowing it to develop for him. On 1st and 10, they run right up the gut, and they find a little running room. It is Mario Toomer, we haven't called his name since the first half, fullback, and he picks up about 4, maybe 5, let's call it, to the 48-yard line. Make it 6, second down, 4.
Well, like I said, that's the forgotten guy in the offense. Sometimes you just pop that fullback real quick.
Fake to Toomer, throws, almost intercepted again, as the intended receiver was Joe's, and Richardson had the ball sail on him, and it almost sailed right into the hands of Travis Smith, who was there in zone coverage.
Big play right here.
3rd down, 4. Sumter has really had numerous opportunities right around midfield. This is where they've had a hard time moving the football.
Well, it seemed like in the first half we saw a lot of 3rd down conversions, and now this half we're not seeing very many.
Very few, you're right. 3rd down, 4 at the 48-yard line. Sumter's going to try to run it, and they're going to get 2, but not 4. It's going to be 4th and 2 at the midfield stripe. Carrying the football was Kenneth Rose, and now Coach Sorrells will bring the punting unit on. 7:04 to go. He's confident in the play of his defense and counting on them to make some plays for him.
Well, it's getting down to crunch time. You know, there's 7 minutes left in the game, and they still have the field position.
That's right.
So you don't want to give that up.
Sumter has really owned the field position here in the second half. Really throughout the ball game, for that matter. Brisbilla, who's done a great job punting today for Sumter. Long snap count. No pressure put on by Gaffney. Hits another good one. It's taken at the 14-yard line, and there's a little room for Wisenett to return this one, and he does, out to the 24. 10-yard return after the 36-yard punt. So the Indians, 1st and 10, on their own 24-yard line with 6:22 to go. They're in a position now where a couple of first downs could be huge for them. We're coming down the stretch at Williams-Brice Stadium in Columbia. Sumter and Gaffney playing for the state's biggest division title, 4A Division I. The Indians, the team that you see in black and gold, with the football and with the lead, 28-21. Gaffney, the quarterback, fakes a run, now wants to throw under pressure, and he throws it just over the outstretched hands of his tight end, Monty Green. First time that we've seen Gaffney try to hit him today. Good job by Antonio Green of avoiding a big sack on the play.
Once again, coming with play action on 1st down, which is a good down to do that, but it doesn't take much time off the clock, so evidently they feel like they have to get more points.
2nd down, 10. It was a 21-14 game at halftime. Gaffney led. In this half, each team has scored once. Gaffney on the first possession of the second half, and then Sumter later on an 81-yard, one-play drive. 2nd down and 10. Gaffney on the counter. Gives to Littlejohn. Littlejohn dropped at the 25-yard line. That play has been huge for them all day long, but this time only a yard gain. It's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Well, that's the second time in a row that they've stopped that play after it really been hurting them. It's a great job of adjusting defensively by the Sumter coaches.
Jeremiah Nicholson, the linebacker, has made a couple of big plays for the Gamecocks. Made the tackle there. We may see this 3rd and 9. Gaffney utilize a timeout as I see the quarterback. Excuse me, that was Sidney Rice over here talking to the coaches on the sideline. Gaffney is up over the football. On 3rd and 9, Gaffney out of the shotgun. Back, under pressure, down he goes, back at the 15-yard line. Huge sack registered by Alex Slavochis, the second time today that he's been able to make a big third down defensive stop for the Gamecocks.
Now, once again, we talked earlier about the front three for Sumter's defense being very steady and being hard to handle by the offensive line.
So it's now 4th down and 18. Melton to kick. He has wind behind him. The line of scrimmage, the 16. Gamecock returners at midfield. Melton gets it away. Another good punt. It's gathered in at the 48-yard line. Returned to the 50 and down to the 45 is Tyrell Davis. A return on the kick of 7 yards after the punt of 34.
And once again, Sumter's going to be playing on the Gaffney end of the field. They can't keep doing that and let opportunities get away from them.
So 4:43 remaining. Gamecocks have all their timeouts. But I think that they may look at this as the possession, Jim, that they've really got to make something happen.
Well, they could get it back maybe one more time if they hold Gaffney to a 3-and-out, but this is a critical possession for them.
Richardson scrambling.
And he's got a
now
guy.
He throws, and he throws incomplete to Joes, who was wide open at the 25-yard line, and Richardson misfired, and I think probably that was the result of so much scrambling. He really didn't get his shoulders squared and his hips straight.
He couldn't get his shoulders squared, and then once again, this isn't to criticize anybody, but he was in that area where the footing is so bad on the logo right there.
Right. 2nd down, 10 for the Gamecocks. They're at the Gaffney 45, and they're going to run the football, and they're going to get nothing. Right now, the defensive units for both teams are just playing hugely.
Well, they certainly are. Once again, Sumter sticking with the thing, throwing on 1st down, ran on 2nd and long. But this is a critical play for him right here.
3rd down and 10. Richardson brings them up. He is in the shotgun. Got nothing but receivers.
Fine CJ.
Throws to the right side, underthrows it. Was it caught? Looks like they say no.
No.
Boy, there was no decision from either official for several seconds. It was underthrown. Gamecock receiver Reinhardt tried to make a diving catch and was unable to do so. And it did skip one time, as we're able to see on the replay. It was very, very close.
Don, I saw it without the replay.
Did you the first time?
That's right. So I'm going to be an official when I grow up.
So 4th down and 10. And Sorrells is going to count on his defense. He's punting it away with 4:02 to go. Prisbilla, boy, it just seems like it's an endless replay of Prisbilla and Melton, all kicking from the same part of the field.
Well, this next series, I tell you, you play all year long. You finally get to where you dreamed to be, that you might be.
Kind of a pooch kick by Priscilla. Gets inside the 20, will go out of bounds at the 16-yard line. So it's a punt of 29 yards, no return. And Gaffney, with 3:54 remaining, will have it 1st and 10 on their own 16. Now, I know you've been in this position many, many times in your career. You have the ball, you have the lead, but you're deep in your own territory. You don't want to be conservative, but you also don't want to be foolish and take chances.
Well, it is a tough situation, but we're going to, you've got to play now and put faith in your defense. You cannot take chances with the football this deep. You do not want to turn the football over. Put the ball in A.J. Littlejohn's hands, and because he was good for him in the first half, and he's going to have to get the tough yardage right now.
They run the football on 1st down. Trevon Green, who has only carried once all day long, gets the football. He picks up 4 out to the 20-yard line. It'll be 2nd down and 6.
Once again, they tried to go to the forgotten man in the eye, that fullback, and he almost busted it right there.
Good gain, though. 4 yards on 1st down. Gives you a little more freedom about what to do on this 2nd down 6. Gaffney up under center. Eye in the backfield, Littlejohn and Green. And they're going to pitch it deep to Littlejohn. Littlejohn is hit and will get a yard. Looks like they're going to give him 2. So it'll be 3rd down and 4 from the 22-yard line. Clock rolling, and that's what Gaffney wants. Sumter really does not want to use their timeouts until they have to. And if Gaffney were to get a 1st down here, then they would have to start using them. So they're going to let the clock run. Huge 3rd down play in the football game. 2:50 and still running.
Exactly. Who's going to take the chance? Because Sumter's going to leave a lot of people in the box expecting them to run. And you've got Sidney out here one-on-one. So who's going to take the chance?
3rd down 4. Gaffney wants to throw it. Throw it to Sidney, and it's caught down the sideline. Did he catch it in bounds? He did. Boy, he was very close to the sideline marker. You called it correctly. They had man coverage. They threw it to Sidney Rice, and he was able to make the catch barely. Boy, he was in bounds by about 8 inches.
Yep, but that shows you a lot about Coach Strickland and his staff, because they got the one-on-one coverage and they went to their playmaker.
So the ball's at the 49-yard line after that pass play. Now, with 2.5 minutes to go, Sumter will have to use their timeouts, plus they'll have to make stops. On 1st down, Littlejohn breaks free across the 50-45 down to the 44-43-yard line. That's going to be an 8-yard pickup, and that's going to really put Sumter in a difficult position. 2nd down and 2. They will use the first of their 3 timeouts right here.
Great blocking by the offensive line and a great play on 1st down. When you're trying to run the clock out and you've got a 2nd and 2 situation, you're really in great shape.
So with 2:15 remaining, Sumter still has 2 timeouts remaining. However, another 1st down by Gaffney will all but start to put the nails in the coffin.
Well, you don't ever say, that it's over until it's over. But they've lost field position is the other thing. This would be the first time if Sumter gets the ball back, they'll even take the ball over in their own field. As far as their end of the field. So there's a lot of things riding now. 2:15, they do have the 2 timeouts. The first thing they got to do is try to stop them. And it's going to be hard on 2nd and 2 when you got Littlejohn back there running the football, that they're liable to pick up another 1st down. So it's not looking good here for Sumter right at this particular time. They've lost, like I said, their field position. All those opportunities they had when they were in good field position, but that you got to give credit to Gaffney's defense. And I think that's the forgotten thing about this Gaffney team is their defense has played so well throughout the playoffs.
Let's go down on the field where it's starting to get a little chillier for our sideline man, Joe Cashin.
Guys, twice before Sumter has come to a Big 16 championship game undefeated. 1991, 1995, and they lost both times, and they're 2:15 away from having it happen a 3rd time. Back upstairs.
Thank you, Joe. 1st down recorded by Gaffney down to the 40-yard line. That was by the man forgotten much of the day, Trevon Green. The first man throw moves the sticks to the 40-yard line with 2:10 remaining. Sumter with 2 timeouts is going to have to wait before they use them. Try to see if they can't make a stop or 2. But even under the best case scenario, they likely couldn't get the ball back unless there were about 30 seconds remaining. Gaffney, now they'll bring a full house into the backfield to protect the football and the quarterback. They're going to run the clock down as much as they can before they snap it. They give it to Littlejohn. Littlejohn hit hard at the line of scrimmage and dropped immediately at the 40-yard line. Eric Ball making the tackle, and the Gamecocks will use a timeout right now. 1:43 remaining.
Well, I'll tell you what, Eric Ball hadn't quit playing. He hadn't given up because he made a heck of a play right there.
No, and the one thing, if you get that kind of a hit on somebody, there's always that chance of the ball popping free.
Yep.
If there's anything at the end of this game, if it finishes the way it is right now, Jim, that you would have to really credit as the difference in the game, it has been Gaffney's ability to play error-free football, which they've done to this point all day long.
Turnovers.
That's the difference.
And in high school football, and almost every level of football, turnovers is the big key, but especially with high school. And if you look at how Gaffney got 2 of their touchdowns, it was a result of Sumter turnovers. Gaffney has not turned the football over yet. And that's one thing that we pride ourselves on in Rock Hill. I think we turned it over 5 times all year long. So
that's
when
amazing.
you do that, you've got a chance to win, and that's all you want to have is a chance to win. So it's getting down to critical time right now.
2nd down and 10. Gaffney still has to play football, though. This one is not over. 1:43 remaining. Sumter can stop the clock one more time. Again, they run the full house backfield. Gaffney going to pitch it to Littlejohn. Littlejohn picks up about 5 down to the 35-yard line. Clock is running. Sumter is not going to utilize that last timeout, I don't think, until after the 3rd down play. If Gaffney could get a 1st down, that effectively would end the football game. If Sumter can stop them, they still have some chance.
Exactly, and they couldn't use their timeout here because then they couldn't stop it at all. So, Of course, the first thing is they've got to stop.
That's right. 3rd down and 5 will be the situation. Again, they'll come out in that same full house backfield that they've run on the last 2 plays. Gaffney, the quarterback, will run the clock down as much as he can. They send a man in motion out of the backfield. Now they hand off to Trevon Green. He's going to get a couple, but that's all he's going to get. Clock will be stopped by Sumter with 54 seconds remaining. It's 4th down and 3. Now, if you're Gaffney, you have a couple of choices. You could go for it, and if you don't make it, Sumter still has a long way to go, and you eliminate the chance of a blocked punt.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, isn't it? I mean, and you think through all those things, right, Coach. I think, I mean, if it's me, we're going to try to make it. We're going to try to go for it, and because you've got the chance to make it, and you don't take the chance that you may get a bad snap because there's a lot of pressure at this time of the ball game for those 16, 17, 18-year-old kids. So I think, if it's me, I'm going to try to pick up the 1st down.
And if you do make it, the game is effectively over. If you do not make it, well, you're giving Will Richardson one last chance, probably about 4, maybe 5 snaps to try to go 70 yards, which he and his teammates are very capable of doing.
They can do it. They have done it before.
So don't go away. And this is only concluding half of this day. Coming up about 30 to 40 minutes after the end of this one will be the single-A game between Lamar and Lakeview. And then tonight under the lights, it'll be West Florence and Greer to cap off a great, great day of high school football. Here we go. 4th down and 3 for Gaffney at the Sumter 33, trying to protect a 7-point lead. Wanting to throw the football is Gaffney, and now he's just going to go out of bounds, and let's see. He's close to the 1st down marker.
Very close.
It's going to depend on the spot. Doesn't look like first glance, but we can't really see where they're putting the football down.
I think he's going to be just a little short, but
they're going to have to bring the sticks all the way across the field. And really, frankly, we're having a hard time seeing where the ball is.
Exactly. I was just trying to judge by that official's foot.
Yeah, it looks like he had to get to the line, and I'm not sure he's at the line. Well, I guess. Here
Plus
comes
the sticks were off the sideline over there, so it was kind of hard to tell exactly where they were.
Well, sticks are coming across, and it is we still can't tell. It is short.
A little short.
By about 6 inches. Sumter has 48 seconds. They have the ball, and they need 70 yards. I think they measured it a second time because the Sumter people weren't celebrating as quickly as you and I were telling everybody that it was done.
Well, I was wondering what they were waiting on. Maybe they back to wondering where the ball skipped over there.
So, at the 30, Sumter will have it. Will Richardson on the day, 13 of 28, 1 picked off. Passing for 168 yards, of course 81 of them on 1 play. So they snap it, Richardson back, rolling right, no pressure at all. Has a man wide open over there, picks up 12 yards to Reinhardt. Gaffney giving that, goes out of bounds. That play took 6 seconds as they go to the 42-yard line. Well, they'll give him those 12 yards. It's the next 58 that will be harder to get.
But they've got 42 seconds.
Yep.
They better locate C.J. Reinhardt. Better find him.
Richardson rolling left, looking to throw. Reinhardt has it. No, he was out of bounds. Would have only been a 5-yard gain anyway. They're going to have to do a little bit more than 5 or 6.
Well, they've run 2 outs with him, and sooner or later they're going to do the out and up.
We have not mentioned today, and we've made I have omission that we should have mentioned earlier. One of Sumter's big play people is missing from this ball game because he was thrown out of a game last Friday, and under high school league rules, he can't play today. Richardson now going to try to throw the home run ball, kind of a jump ball. It's caught at the 23-yard line by Tyrell Davis. It was a jump ball, well covered by Gaffney's Charles Shippey and by Alonzo Weber, but Tyrell Davis went up and got it at the 23-yard line.
And that was a case of the defensive back playing the receiver rather than playing the ball. He never looked for the ball. I think he could have knocked that one away. But this has put them in position now. This is where they needed to be to have a chance to tie the football game up.
Clock stopped on the first down. 28 seconds remaining. Sumter ready to go when they whistle it ready. Richardson rolling right. Going to throw to the right side, and it is incomplete. That was, again, that square out that you're talking about. Blanding was the intended receiver. That was, again, only would have been 5 or 6 yards. Now, though, down in distance, not that critical. You've got 3 plays you know. When and if you decide to go for the end zone, really, that's up to the coaching staff. You still can work underneath if you want. However, Sumter with no timeouts remaining. If they complete one in the middle of the field, they need to be sure that it's a first down. Richardson back, throwing across the middle. Caught, 10, 5, down to the 3-yard line. It's David Joes, first and goal Sumter. The clock will stop as they move the chains with 15 seconds remaining.
It might spike it here to.
That would give them the chance to huddle up and talk about things. And now a timeout is going to be called by Gaffney.
That's the amazing thing about both these football teams. I've been talking to both coaches during the week. Their kids refuse to lose on both sides. Coach Charles talked about how the Sumter kids, they just refuse to lose when they're down. Gaffney kids were the same way. So this is just one heck of a ball game. And I think I'll go back again and say we said at the beginning this was going to be the biggest toss-up of the day. So
when Joes caught the ball at the 15-yard line, I thought that he had enough momentum and room to run to get into the end zone. Just an outstanding tackle by the Gaffney defense. The first hit was from Alonzo Weber, and then 2 others closed to put Joes down on the ground at the 3-yard line. Now, 15 seconds remaining. You got first and goal at the 3. You have no timeouts. What hurts you is it almost eliminates your ability to run the football.
Well, it does. I mean, if you run it one time, then you've got to get up there and spike it to stop the clock.
So Sumter probably has time to run 3 plays, but I say run, meaning throw. I don't know if they can run the football. And in fact, they come out with an empty backfield. Richardson on first and goal sends Reinhardt in motion to the right.
And that's who they're trying to.
Richardson nearly falls down. Now he tries to run. He stopped at the 1-yard line. Clock is at 7. Is it 6? I don't think they'll ever get another play off. Clock is at 3, 2, 1. They had time to snap it and did not.
What a ball game.
Richardson was stopped at the 1-yard line. They were lined up with a second to go but could not snap it.
I'll tell you what, they couldn't get any closer to that. I did see a Dorman-Spartanburg game where Dorman wound up on the 6-inch line, but
I had that same thought run through my head.
Yeah, it's got to be heartbreaking for Sumter. It's exhilarating for Gaffney. What a great game. And like I said, it was tough to call this one at the beginning. And they might could go out and play about 4 or 5 more times over the next 4 or 5 weeks, and the results might not be the same. So
what an incredible ending. Richardson, and I don't want to harp on this, but as he rolled left, he lost his footing.
Once again, the field comes into play.
I think that might have been the difference that kept him out of the end zone, because he saw the opening and wanted to run and slipped down. Nearly went down at the 10-yard line, managed to get his balance. Then he ran into one of his offensive linemen, and all of that combined is what kept him out of the end zone. Then, as he was lying on the ground, 8 seconds remained on the clock, and I really thought they had no chance to get up to the line of scrimmage, but they did, and they were not able to snap the football. They were in position, could have spiked it, but didn't get it off in time.
Yeah, it was really close. Jarvis Littlejohn is the one that made the play right there on, at the end, and of course he's a north-south selection at linebacker from Gaffney, because Wally had, listen, I knew I'd do it once sooner or later during the day. Will had momentum, had carried him toward the goal line, but Jarvis just had a great tackle, great open field tackle, and then got help from his other teammates.
But you know what you said at the beginning of the fourth quarter? Big players make big plays that determine the games. And for both teams, that certainly was true in the final stages. Not only did Sidney Rice make a huge play for Gaffney that ate up time and yardage, but the Little Johns, both on offense and defense, made big plays, and not to take away from Sumter because their guys, William Richardson, Kenneth Rose, Tyrell Davis, they made big plays to keep their team in the game.
C.J. Reinhardt made the big play on it. But it was just, you know, if you look at it on paper, this is what the way the game should wind up. Not necessarily that Gaffney would win, but that it was going to be close.
So no one really, as you said earlier, has anything whatsoever to hang their heads about. For Sumter, it will take them a while to really realize what a great year they had and what a great game they played here today. And for Gaffney, a team which won only 2 football games last year, what a storybook season it has been for them.
Well, it's been a great, you know, for the fans of Gaffney and the town of Gaffney, and of course it's a football fanatic town. I've been on both sides of the fence. Been feeling like Sumter feels right now and been feeling like Gaffney feels right now. And you're exactly right. It'll take the Sumter kids a while to realize that they had a great year. It still doesn't take away the hurt, though, Don. And you know, but like I said, it was just such a great football game. And you saw more offense in the first half. You saw great defense in the second half. The punting games for both teams came into play there, and field position came into play, and some big plays were made. Just a great high school football game.
Watching the Gaffney players down below us continue to celebrate, I see one Sumter High player, Leander Anderson, a senior offensive lineman, inconsolable at midfield, and that's just the emotions that you see at the end of these type of football games. And still, we have 2 more yet to go today here at Williams-Brice Stadium. I hope you enjoyed it. For Joe Cashin and for Jim Ringer, this is Don Williams saying so long. This is the Southland Longhomes Weekend of Champions on the South Carolina News Network and ETV.
ETV's coverage of high school football is sponsored by Wendy's and the South Carolina High School League.
Introducing the Wild Mountain Combos from Wendy's. A hot, smoky southwestern pepper sauce, Colby Jack, and bacon on hamburger or on Wendy's spicy chicken filet. Now that's something to remember. Wendy's, it's better here.